like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
And hello viewers to round 3 of the Formula USA 2023 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And I've got to say, it's a fast one. Of course, as always, I am joined by none other than WMDR Martin.
Greetings.
Yeah, quite a interesting, not an oval, I would say, more of a square. A
squoval, if you will.
But definitely a quick one, and we're going to see, I'm expecting to see a lot of safety cars this evening, especially since this is the feature race. So cars that just finished the race this evening are going to be getting a solid 10 points no matter what. As long as they finish, they're going to be getting a solid 10 points. So tonight I think is going to be very much an endurance race and trying to keep it nice, safe and clean.
Yeah, and keeping it clean so far as our top three, at least provisionally, in Exus, Eddie, and Trouble, all within a tenth of each other. But as I say, that Exus puts it half a second up the rest of the field.
Yeah, only 9, is it 9? I think 9 or 7, I think around 9 drivers out right now.
It is currently 7 drivers on track. All the rest are currently in the pits waiting for their turn.
Yeah, for those not understanding what's going on, we are splitting the qualifyings into 3 different quali sessions for drivers. Just because we learned that private was sort of a bit unbalanced and was very much a bit glitchy, so we've gone with this sort of format. So the first 5 minutes, this is a 15-minute session, so this session for some drivers is almost over. But these first 5 minutes, we are seeing Trouble, Eddie, Michael, Escher, Dina, Svi, and Exus. Right now, as Trouble sets provisional pole with a 39.01. I think there's some more time in that. There's got to be more time in that.
Yeah, I mean, currently the entire grid that's been out on track is almost within a second. We just got Diener still looking for that perfect lap, and yeah, I definitely think, especially as the track starts to rubber in, that we're going to see some sub-39 lap times. And Trouble's currently on one if he can finish this one with that delta.
Yeah, hopefully he can get within the 39s. I've got to... And he does, with a 38.9, almost... well, 38.93. There we go. Got it eventually. But yeah, a very interesting track, and I've got to say, people that just think that this is going to be flat out. I did a very long session the other night with some of the drivers to try and fully understand what the drivers are going to be going on throughout the entire night, what sort of tyre wear they're going to be affected by, and I've got to say, what I've learn is going to be extremely shocking, and it's going to be going into the first corner here. You're going to be mostly taking it flat, but into turn 2, when you're even getting a bit of slightly worn tyres, you're going to be wanting to very much lift, otherwise you're going to end up sliding wide into that wall. Now, you'd think since you've lifted on here that the next corner is going to be flat, but through this corner, this is probably one of the sketchiest corners out of all of them. Except the last one as well. These 2 last corners are probably the most horrible out of all of them, especially where you can just touch that wall and potentially just end up flying into the pit lane, which will leave you disqualified.
As that's Trouble there, finishing his final run, putting it on provisional pole with a 38.8. Now it'll be the second group of drivers to set their time, and we'll see if they can take advantage of the slightly more rubbered-in track. I don't think if there's going to be as much of an advantage as last time with the changing conditions, but we'll just have to wait and see if anyone can knock Trouble off of that provisional P1.
Yeah, the second group is out now, so hopefully we'll see some even quicker times fly up the board. And hopefully we'll see these drivers warm up their tyres. The first 2 laps is probably where we'll see drivers setting their banker laps, where the tyres aren't up to that proper temperature yet, where they're not in that optimum range to properly take a quick. I know for a fact that when I left the pit lane, I was about stuck in 4th for quite a while before finally the car got the grip and I was able to take corners faster and hit that essential 5th gear. I don't expect to see anyone hitting the 6th gear, as I've learned that gear is pretty much saved for when you're stuck in someone's slipstream. So if we see anyone hit that 6th gear tonight, that's going to be very much in the race and them looking to make an overtake in the car ahead.
Also, just want to mention, if you want to get your predictions in now on whether or not we're going to see more than 5, let me just take a look. Safety cars, according to the prediction on stream, go ahead and spend that NIS money to see if you can win a little bit off of this race. But yeah, last oval was very, very chaotic, and this one's going to be even longer than the previous, so who knows how chaotic it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one being, I think, an extra half an hour longer. So, yeah, as I said earlier before, it's going to be about endurance. I mean, at the start, we're going to have about 24 drivers around that sort of area bunched together looking to try and make opportunities. No matter of fact, it might just be the people who are hanging at the back. I mean, we saw from the other oval, we saw people who qualified P10, P12, make it and finish, end up first. Cuckoo ended up coming first from, I believe, 13th last time, which was incredible. But since, of course, ovals cause a bit of chaos, you know, it's very much anyone's race at this point. Trouble's still with a 38.83, still with a provisional pole. Vilside gained there, but I don't think he's getting anywhere close. He's got a minute 40 left as he improves on that time a bit, but he's not able to get Trouble. Fennec as well, almost in those 38s, but currently only 2 drivers in the 38 marks. And I do wonder, do you think Trouble might have got a bit of slipstream, a bit of help from someone? Because
I mean, I think quite a few people are having slipstream. If you look at the minimap, we got pretty much all the drivers on this one straight now, some of them going into a corner. We're seeing the top drivers of this half of the session get within 2/10 of the guys previously. And keep in mind as well, for a track that is literally just 4 left-hand turns, most of your time is going to be coming from getting the tires up to pressure, getting a little bit of slipstream, getting the fuel load to be low enough, and of course the most important thing arguably is the setup of the car as well.
I've got to mention just now, as another 2 drivers have entered the 38 mark. Vilside currently perfectly equal with his lap. Can he nail this last corner to potentially overtake Double for that provisional pole position? Crossing the line now, he's gonna have another lap crossing it, but he's extremely close, only gaining 0.002 seconds. That is unfortunate. Fennec as well boxing right now, so his lap is over and he might have to settle for P3 or less.
Yeah, that's 4 people within, well, 3 people within. Wait, no, now it actually is 4 people within a 10th of first place now. Vilside in that second position, just a couple milliseconds ahead of Fennec. He's a couple milliseconds up on his lap now, but he's gonna need a bit more if he wants to take that provisional pole away from Trouble.
Yeah, the final batch is now being sent out as well. And I've got to say, with the final batch only now being sent out, the top 13, well, top 12, are all within a second of each other, which is I mean, I know it's over racing, but it's still remarkable as Gillis places it in P3, overtakes Fennec and Ant Carlos on his final lap, and almost takes Vilside as well, very much 0.001 seconds behind Vilside.
Yeah, just 1 millisecond there. That's, I'm not sure if he's going to be kicking himself for that, because that's a pretty good lap, but yeah, just one minuscule little air molecule blocking your car and making it just that tiny bit slower, costing you a whole grid slot. I mean, there's worse tracks to lose positions on.
Yeah, exactly, and it's going to be extremely hard though to keep that that front position though, since if you're starting at the front, and this is what I learned from doing all that practice, as much as you are starting at the front, the person behind you is going to have slipstream. And something that I've realised that is a strategy is, as much as yes, you might be behind them and you will have that opportunity to overtake, if you stick behind them and you stay in their slipstream, you are most definitely not using your tyres as much as the person in front of you. So you can force the person in front of you who doesn't have the slipstream to use their tyres a bit more. And as soon as their tyres start going, that's when you make the move and try and break away from them.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much we're going to see people holding back, because if you hold back and there's the whole pack is still together, you're just surrendering yourself to the behemoth of cars that is right behind you. So it's probably not really worth taking all that risk of getting taken out over and over again, especially considering how long this race is and how many safety cars we may get. That'll keep the field bunched up. Maybe once the field starts to spread out a bit more and we see fewer safety cars, then those tactics might start to come into play.
As you see, Jedlin cross the line, P13, but as I said before, we'll only see the quickest laps towards the end. But you can just see this train, so definitely some slipstreaming going on for this part of qualifying compared to some of the others. As you can see, those 3 cars all flying past. And that's going to be...
Do you want to know what's very strange as well? I don't think we have a single driver who set an identical lap time to someone else yet. Whereas at the previous oval, I think we had like 4 or 5 people who set identical times to others.
Yeah, everyone's just ever so slightly off. And Eisenschenk is up by 0. He's up by a 1/10.5. Which
he's getting double slipstream. He's going for pole.
Yeah, he's going for pole. He's going to be about, if he keeps this up, he's up by almost 3 times. This is incredible on Nova. I mean, yes, I know he's in the slipstream, but this is just another type of quick. And he's going to cross the line and absolutely decimate the field by a 1/10.5. What did I just witness?
And he's not the only one, too, because Xevious has now taken over P2, also beating trouble. Runelink just shoving his car up into that P4 mere milliseconds away from that P3 position. Eisenschenk, though, still improving on his time, but he's lifting off. He can't go through the cars in front of him.
Yeah, I've got to say, all the quick drivers must have been in this third session, because it was very close up the top before. Trouble and Runelink and the Vilside, they were all within a 1/10 of each other, and Ultimate Case has set an identical time as Runelink, just as I've noticed.
I think part of it is we're just seeing more drivers in the latter half of the session take advantage of the slipstream. I mean, we've got multiple 3-car packs here. We were seeing some slipstreaming earlier on, but it was mostly across the whole straight and not this close to each other.
Something I've also noticed is Jedlin up on his time. He is but only by a bit. I thought he was up by a bit more. If he can gain about a 1/10 and a bit
in these last lap.
Yeah, in this next 2 sectors, he's in the slipstream. No, but he's lost time, and I don't think he's going to be able to make a 1/10 in this corner unless he's really mid up, and that's going to be Eisenschenk going even quicker as well.
Yeah, he sacrificed his previous lap to keep on enjoying the slipstream for the next one and improved by a further few hundredths of a second.
I gotta say, this was an absolutely amazing qualifying. Ultimate Case sneaking himself up into P2. That's Cuckoo dragging the likes of Jedlin. And is Jedlin going to be looking to try and actually make a move in qualifying? He's got the inside line. He's going to be very much trying to keep their... Oh my god, he's up by quite a bit. This could put him into 3rd place on the leaderboard as long as he keeps these next 2 corners clean. And
he is out of the slipstream now, though, so he may be losing time in this final part of the lap.
Across the line. Oh, and he's P2! I was not expecting a P2 from Jedlin, I've got to admit. I was expecting that P2, but he nailed those last couple of sectors. Very much getting helped by Cuckoo there. And that is going to be Eisenschenk in P1, Jedlin in P2, Ultimate Case in P3, Xevious in P4, Runelink in P5, Trouble in P6, Vilside in P7, Gillis Holman in P8, Fennec in P9, and Carlos in P10, Exus in P11, Kunisek in P12, Tom Hawks in P13, Svi in P14, Dale in P15, Wild Package in P16, Michael in P17, Cuckoo in P18, Eddie in P19, Escher in P20, Binding in P21, Benedict in P22, Dina in P23, and Simon in P24.
Now, I'm not sure what the significance of this is, but if you look at the sector times, Sector 2 is really where Eisenschenk gets all of his lap time, pretty much.
I mean, Sector 2 definitely being the biggest one, especially including that main straight. So, that straight definitely helping if you're in the slipstream. Okay, I've also just noticed Dina has sadly got a grid place penalty.
And a fractured wrist, apparently.
So, that is, yeah, extremely unlucky for him. So, he's going to be dropping from P3 to P4. I genuinely wonder if Dina is going to... I mean, with a fractured wrist and attending this race, he has to take it easy. Look, it takes a lot of balls to do this race normally. 1 hour. For 1 hour and a half. That extra half an hour, it's going to kill him.
Maybe he's driving with his feet.
He has found the ways.
To use 100% of the brain.
Yeah, though, absolutely remarkable to see him, and I'm very much happy that he is still driving today. But you know, if you do need to take a break, Dina, please, you don't have to force yourself to every race. You've got a fractured wrist. I'm sure people will understand. But yeah, so it's gonna be Dina then writing chat big balls.
I like how you almost never see what's in chat, but as soon as he's talking about big balls, you're like instantly on. How many laps until the first safety car? Well, that is a very dumb question. I think we're gonna have
that
one
would be
right
a really good. That would be a really good vote, actually. A really good prediction. How many laps? Oh, I should have put that instead. Damn it, Emil, where were you? I needed you.
Well, your current prediction is gonna keep the race itself exciting, so. But yeah, Emil, it's going to be interesting to see, especially considering the last oval race. This one's even more challenging. I believe in the last one you could go side-by-side full throttle. Not the case on this track. These corners are a little more rectangular, a little more sharp, and these cars don't like hugging each other through those corners.
So there is going to be, rather than 2 formation laps, there is going to be... Oh, that's a... Oh... I've messed something up. I've messed my formation thing up, so we're not actually gonna have that formation lap counter unless I've... Yeah, I've messed something up.
At least we know who the commentators are.
Yep. I've fiddled a bit too much there with things, so I'm hopefully gonna be fixing that later.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
Yeah, so only 1 formation lap, and something I'm genuinely worried about tonight, I have to say, is the fact that the safety car, I realised, is 100 kph. Yeah.
Well, we've already got glitched positions, so
oh no!
Yeah, again, this game just does not do ovals.
Yeah, but we've I'm gonna say so the safety car runs at 100 kph, and that's a third of the speed. That if cars are coming up to the back of it, they're going to have to slam on their brakes. It's very much a rule as well for those listening racing. The leader will not slow down. He has to lift to 100. So if you're the leader of the race, do not all of a sudden slam your brakes if there's a safety car, otherwise you will get killed. But,
and if you're P2, you may also not do this.
Yeah, they're coming to the line now. It's going to be Eisenschenk leading the group away. You can see all these cars are passing and they're all lined up, and I'm already seeing a ghosted car as well, so not fun. As we're going to see Eisenschenk coming to line. When is he going to go? When is he going to lead it off?
He's waiting for quite some time.
And he's off! That was very close to the line, but I think he's got that start absolutely perfect. And we're already off, going around the first corner. Is everyone going to keep it straight? Is someone already touching grass? Not recommended at all for this race. I can tell you that from experience, there's been a lot of crashes there. A lot of cars going too wide and extremely close. The group absolutely single filed all the way down. Everyone looking for that slipstream as they go into the third corner. And no one's going to be lifting for this part of it. But we're definitely going to be seeing some cars lifting later and some more side-by-side moments. That's Gillis going down the inside, unless Gillis has... I think Gillis might have dropped back actually a little bit. This front pack has already seems to start to get away a bit. So
yeah, Jedlin's looking pretty hungry too. I don't think we're going to see too much waiting. This pack is going to be very happy that they're pulling away from Valeside of all people. But yeah, even behind Valeside, there's quite the gap. I think that may be a consequence of all the side-by-side action we're seeing down in the middle.
Almost
of the
free. That's 3 wide. Almost 3 wide behind. They decide better, but even with 3 wide behind that, this is 100% looking for carnage. But Kunisek decides better with it. Very safe driver there. I've got to give him that. As they go,
giving each other lots of space, backing off when necessary, which is really what you need on this track as they're side-by-side once again in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, something I do not want to see is what I like to call protagonist syndrome tonight, where you think you can make the 3 wide move, but you shouldn't. You should just stay behind and then end up causing a crash, and I don't want to be seeing that tonight. But it looks like everyone has kept it nice, safe, and especially, the most important thing, clean. But this group of 5 cars, Eisenschank, Jedlin, Ultimate K, Xevious, and Runelink, are in a battle of their own. Coming through the last corner, you can see how close they all are to each other. They're all within a 5/10 of each other as they come screaming past us, coming down the back straight. And is anyone going to be looking for moves, or are they just going to decide to keep it nice and clean, nice and single file, to try and get away from all those cars, all those groups behind? See how close they are coming through. There's now the second corner, and just how close and how experienced these front runners are. They're just so close to each other. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to kind of force each other into a mistake, just getting as close as humanly possible, putting all the pressure onto their opponents. And especially once the tire wear starts to set in, because we're on lap 5, I've heard around lap 10 is when it can really start to get bad. Once those mistakes start creeping in, this snake of cars is going to get shorter, as we're having a move for the lead right now.
Yeah, Jedlin down the inside. Does Eisenschank give him space? Eisenschank goes a bit wide, gives him the space, but now it's going to be Jedlin punching that hole through the air, giving everyone else behind that slipstream. But you can just see Eisenschank might have been using his tires up a bit too much there as they head down, but you can already see he's already onto the back of Jedlin. But someone is making a move. That's Runelink on Xevious, and Xevious
touched the wall.
Very much a little light tap there. I think that shouldn't have given him damage. If that did give him damage, that is extremely unfortunate, because even one piece of damage could hinder you by about 8 kilometers per hour, which is just snail's pace around here. Just
Speaking of unfortunate and snail's pace, we do have a couple drivers in the pits, so I think further up down the grid there have been some incidents involving Tomahawks, Diener, and potentially a few others. But now we have Eisenschank looking once again to take the lead of this race, and his teammate Ultimate K is right behind looking to go with him. Wait, no, that's not his teammate.
No, that's all these top 5s, funny enough, they might they might have looked like they were working together at the start, but they're definitely fighting now, and that's Jedlin into the wall.
Jedlin's not going to be happy about that. I just hope his car is not too damaged so he can continue on in that fight, but I don't know, his front wing looks a little bit bent.
Yeah, hopefully that won't hinder his race, too much, and we'll see him hopefully get to the front of this pack once again. But it's Runelink who has made it from the back of this pack into P2. He's going to be looking towards Eisenschank to make that move, but further back is Cuckoo trying to make the move on Simon, looking around the outside. I wonder, can they keep this position? Can they look for it? And further behind them, it looks like that is going to be Daylau trying to make... is it Daylau?
I'm not sure. I think Cuckoo may actually be glitched. It says their current time is a 0:00:00:00.
Well, we're just going to have to hopefully work out who each driver is then, I think.
As Runelink is now in the lead. Hold on.
And that's going to be Ultimate K's passing for P2 as well. So the leads have... The front-running group has completely switched around.
Yeah, it seems like Eisenschank is starting to lose a bit of that pace, potentially the higher tire wear that you mentioned earlier, and Jedlin has started to drop off of this group, so he almost guaranteed has damage. So that's unfortunate for his race, but still carries a fairly significant gap to the group behind, at least for the time being, as Keza now looking for a move on our race leader.
They're going down the inside of corner 1. Are we going to start to see people slowly start to lift now to try and save their tires, or maybe that understeer is going to start kicking in? as they approach the first back marker, and their ultimate case is going to be very much smiling to see that car ahead of him, sort of, so that he can stay in the slipstream of the car ahead. But whether that car is going to hinder this group and whether they're going to have to try and slip by it, I know from experience from the AI, it's extremely annoying when there's a back marker because they go extremely slow. But it looks like this front group is going to be looking to pass whoever that is, as they stay on the high angle. That is them sticking to the side angle, going too wide with ruling. They are absolutely obliged to do this. This is Eisenschenk looking, he's almost forced onto the grass, and they're free wide, almost free wide.
Xevious is having to wait right behind as well. He had the speed, but just didn't have the room to make a move. Kaze is going to love this, because the more these guys spend side by side, the more time that he can spend pulling away and minimizing the slipstream.
Oh, there's a tire there. Hopefully
there is, yeah.
Drivers do it.
Oh,
there's
very broken in the pits.
As we see that tire is actually hittable. That isn't like a ghosted tire or anything. That is a genuine. Oh, whose tire is that?
It is. I think it's Michael's.
And whoever
it's going to be Wild Package. He has managed to make his way back to the pits, missing a wheel. I think that may be a first this season.
That's going to be a heavy pit stop. That's going to be at least 2 minutes, which is for this going to be at least 5 laps down by the end of that pit stop, minimum.
And we're seeing a lot of light touches with the wall. Not sure if this track is very forgiving when it comes to that. Some tracks are, depending on what angle you hit the wall at. But yeah, K's are almost a full second ahead now. And Eisenschenk is starting to lose touch with Runelink. The back marker is playing a very, very big role in this fight.
Now, I've spoken to some drivers as well, and towards lap 10, I mean, it's lap 13 right now, we still haven't seen any pit stops, but towards lap 10, I've been told by some drivers that it isn't very much a gradual. Drivers can feel it gradually, but there is a moment of the tyres where it is all of a sudden you feel it go in the next corner, and then in the next corner you are spinning. It is very much more of a, you feel it coming and then it goes in the next corner. So whether we'll see some drivers feel that and then pit, or whether we'll see some drivers facing the other way, it's all to be understood. As we see Eddie, the controller player, you can notice it through the way he's driving there, trying to tuck in to Trouble's slipstream, but he's got to watch out from behind from Ant Carlos, as we see a brush of the wall from, who's that behind?
I believe that was Xevious once again. He's chasing down Eisenschenk. That gap has come down a little bit, but the top two now pulling away.
Yeah, that car behind him, a back marker, but I believe back markers can very much overlap people, so they can technically fight, which is weird to say that a back marker can fight you, but it's very much within the rules of IndyCar. So here we are today.
Yeah, I believe the rule is that they can fight as long as they're, what was it, only one lap down or something?
I think around that sort of thing. I don't think there is a set rule for us, but I think this is going to be, it's such a quick lap. It's a 39 around here.
And
so
on Trouble is now looking to get revenge on Eddie, taking back that P11 as we just witnessed the move from Exus on the damaged car of Jedlin for P8.
Oh, a brush by Eddie into the wall. That hopefully won't be damage. That is going to be Trouble into P10, and Eddie under threat from Koenigsegg, looks for the move down the inside, but thinks better of it, because you can't
Meanwhile, Veilside chasing down Fennec for P5.
So we go from one Moisty Scuderia to another. Can Veilside at all gain it? Looks like Fennec's all of a sudden just gained massively through the corners. But I'm wondering, because when it came to setups, you couldn't really change the rear of the IndyCar, but you could very much change the front. And I was told by a lot of drivers to run 0 at the front. So whether maybe some drivers are actually driving 1 to account for the long stints that they're going to be going on, to try and give them that extra bit of turn-in over the course of the race. I do wonder.
Well, there definitely seem to be some jack settings that were thrown around that can make the car more over-understeery. And that's what I was wondering as well when we saw Eddie understeer into the wall. As someone loses their rear wing, that can't be Runelink, can it? No,
I
it's
hope-
not
yeah.
him. It must be a back marker.
It could have been from those other two. I do see someone in the pits right now, so it could be whoever is in the pits.
No, they wouldn't have been able to get in that quickly. But yeah, I was wondering if I believe it was Eddie when he understeered into the wall. Maybe he's got a little bit more understeer in that setup to make the car less twitchy on the controller, because it is very easy to lose one of these cars when you don't have the fine control of a wheel in your hands.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just incredibly hard, as I think we see another driver pitting. Who's that? That's our P16 driver of Ant Carlos in the pit lane. So we might start to see some drivers doing their first stops now as we hit lap 19 for the front runners.
And Michael has just overtaken Escher for P21.
Whether Escher can potentially get that back. There isn't too much slipstream there, but there is a slipstream fest right here between Trouble, Jedlin, Kunisek, Eddie, and Vindict, I believe, as well.
Yeah, quite a few cars involved in this one, so let's keep an eye on this for a while. This could get pretty spicy. We've seen a few incidents so far, mostly involving just 2 cars at a time, though, so no safety cars yet. Those predictions may well be safe for this round, but yeah, as the tires start to deteriorate, I think we will see plenty more risk-taking.
Yeah, very much, and hopefully,
And just look at the different lines they're all taking as well. Some people choosing to steer in very early, others going in quite a bit later, and getting some extraordinary exits out of it.
something I'm very much hoping I won't see, but will be interesting if I do, is cars trying to get out the pit lane as quick as they can. But since it isn't a banked pit exit, I wonder, are we going to potentially see some drivers causing accidents by coming out of the pit lane and spinning on that flat tarmac?
I sure hope not, but I definitely know what you mean. In the few times that I've driven these cars around a track like this, that change in camera can definitely off-put the thing. And yeah, the steering just isn't straight in this car. It's built to take these corners and not to do straight or flat roads. So yeah, that is definitely something to take into account. But it seems like Finnick and Eddie are starting to pull away from this battle.
Whether they're going to work together or battle, it looks like Eddie's very much getting his nose ready to chuck it down the inside. But,
hold on, I believe Eisenchenk has just been overtaken by Xevious, so Xevious now in P3. As Valeside pits.
Xevious, one of the close front starters, very good for the front group right now. No major incidences, except for maybe potentially Gedlin, who hit that wall. Whether he got damaged, we might have to work out in the safety car. But Eddie looking for that move, and Finnick going extremely wide. Oh my god, he got close to that wall.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, I mean, the tires are going to make the corners difficult enough once they start to wear, but if you're in another car's dirty air in these corners, it's not going to make turning any easier.
Oh, and I've just realized our leader, Ultimate K's, has boxed on lap 23.
That'll be interesting to see when Runelink comes in then, because Runelink was only half a second behind when Keza came into the pits. Jedlin deciding to copy Keza's strategy and potentially get that damage fixed as well, because I think it had cost him a good 10 to 15 seconds by now, and we're only on lap 23.
Yeah, looking at that front wing, it definitely does look a bit bent, I must say. Oh, and that's contact between 2 drivers. Not a safety car yet, but very unfortunate for those 2 drivers, and they're going to have to box and hopefully not cause a safety car, as we see Eddie going onto that low bank corner, and he's going to have to trundle his way all the way to the pit lane. That is going to be a ticket in the making right there.
Yeah, that is very, very unfortunate. That was a battle in the top 10. Lots of points on the line there. Of course, you still get 10 for finishing, but of course, you'll get way more if you do so inside the top 10. A lot of people in the pits now, but no safety car, as you mentioned.
So,
Current race leader as Xevious as actually one of the drivers in the pits.
Eisenchenk, who...
Runelink.
Ooh. So...
I'm struggling to find... Wait, I think Runelink came out ahead of K's by 3 seconds.
What
wow.
a... That could have been all to the fact of slipstream, maybe traffic that Case had to try and get by on those better tires. Drivers might be driving so slowly to the point where he's going to be getting held up in those corners, and maybe that overcut by Runelink has just worked a treat. Maybe just staying out for those couple extra laps has just worked to an absolute better, as we see Eisenshank on the left hand side being passed by Ultimate Case. We see the drivers trundle out, keeping it very safe on exit and staying to mostly to the left hand side unless there's a car. But yeah,
no one behind him now, and that's Eddie ahead, but Eddie is a full lap down at this point, 55 seconds off the lead. That has dealt a crushing blow to his race. I'm not sure if Findict has pitted, but Findict's currently in P11, only 40 seconds down, fighting with Kunishek for the top 10.
I don't think that's... I think that is a lapped car ahead. I don't think Kunisek is in... Yeah, that's Kunisek, so that is actually a car between them, I believe.
That it is. Now let's take a quick look at Xevious, who is also just now coming out of the pits, but behind Keza as well. So it seems like Runelink is the only one who's been able to really one-up Keza on strategy.
Yeah, it looks like he got the strategy absolutely pinpoint perfect. He's not a bit too late like Xevious, but not too early like Ultimate Case. Nailing it right in between there and getting that absolute margin where it was just enough to gain on both drivers.
As Trouble pits from the lead.
Hopefully he can find his pit stall. I know from experience that I've missed it about 5 times, embarrassingly. I don't even know how I did it 5, but it's there somewhere in my replays. We see Simon, who's left the pit lane.
Oh, they're driving very slowly.
Hopefully they don't have damage.
Or maybe they've run out of fuel?
Hopefully not, that would be extremely... As we see some leaders pass them down the inside. Speed up, come on man, you got to get that momentum. Remember, this is
He's not gone into the pit lane. That is very, very strange behavior.
This is IndyCar Oval, you can race the leaders, sort of, in a way.
That is a very, very long pit stop for Trouble as well. He's coming out a lap down from the lead.
I do wonder if people have accidentally, because I know from experience that these cars do tend to get damaged. Not enough to very much repair it when it comes to engine damage, but it might be enough to very much give the driver a long pit stop, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a setting you always have to watch out for. We've seen many people lose crucial seconds through accidentally enabling that engine fix, but currently it seems like the field has started to spread out a little bit. I think the chances of a safety car at this point are very, very low, unless we see someone end up in another Eddie situation while there's a whole pack behind them. But again, that is not the most likely scenario to happen, so I think we'll be up for some good, clean racing for the time being.
Now, something I do want to mention, and I really hope this doesn't happen this evening, because we've had some very, very unfortunate moments.
And speaking of unfortunate, we have lost someone.
No! How could this happen? Yeah, 23 out of 24 drives. So yes, someone has sadly disconnected. I was gonna say I was hoping to see no disconnects today, especially from people having problems with pit stops, and whether that was a problem for a pit stop, I genuinely don't know. But talking about pit stops, Findict is in the pit lane.
Yeah, so Findic, that's gonna bring them back to the tail end of the grid. Not a lot to fight for back there, but who knows what may happen in this race. There's still 1 hour and 13 minutes left, which is more than the length of a normal race in this league.
Still no safety car.
Yeah. Wait, was that just a drive-through? I think that was a drive-through penalty.
A drive-through? What?
I don't think Findic stopped in any pit box.
I mean, I do know that the pits are very much quick, because it takes about 10 seconds max for a pit stop, unless you've got damage, of course. The fuel goes straight in and takes about 5 seconds. If you're changing with tire, oh, there's someone in the background. Ah, that's someone.
My goodness.
What the hell did we just witness? There is some goofy stuff happening. And that is a very much... Oh, that's a car in the wall. Hopefully that wasn't to the driver lagging.
It's not Escher. Is it, who's Escher's teammate?
Who's part of the Cookie Monster factory race?
It's Simon. Simon in P11.
Simon!
So
Oh, that is
disastrous, not ending to his race because he's thankfully made it to the pits. But yeah, very, very unfortunate there. I'm not sure who we saw get abducted by the mole men, though. That was very strange.
It looked like a Sentinel Motorsport car. So hopefully their Wi-Fi is checked out a bit.
In the meantime, Xavia's still fighting Eisenchenk. I think this may be a race-long battle that we've got on our hands. At least I hope so, because it's very, very nice to see. As Michael seems to have come into the pits as well. I don't think there's a lot of people pitting for tires and fuel at this moment, so that may be for damage.
Yeah, my hope for even a single safety car at this point is getting lower and lower. Because the drivers, they seem to be spreading out, and the field very much looks spread across the entire track at this point. But you can see up ahead is extremely close between some back markers. That's a car in the walls. You see Eisenchenk move to the left to get out of the way, and that's another car going off into the wall, getting very much a bit of oversteer and sliding into the pit lane.
Yeah, bounced up like a dolphin. Who is that?
Well, we'll see when we see
them. Out as they're gonna enter the pits, and I can finally see the little pop-up next to their name. It is Sfee deciding to become an absolute concrete dolphin. Luckily, getting his car repaired. But yeah, that is... We've seen some insane accidents in that last corner, particularly.
I mentioned it earlier, where sometimes the tyres can just drop off like that, and I think that's what we've just witnessed. We saw a driver go wide, and then we saw Sfee just absolutely drift it through the final corner.
I think part of it as well is when you're on the outside on worn tires, you're trying to give people space on the inside, while you just don't have the grip for it. When you're on worn tires, you really need that inside line to be safe. And as soon as you divert away from that safe line, you are putting yourself in harm's way.
I mean, you can see where all the rubber is on the track. As soon as you go out wide, you're losing that extra bit of rubber, that extra bit of grip that you really need in these high downforce speedway cars. You see Michael looking to make the move on Escher ahead.
Playing it safe and lifting off, and that looks like a very dinky rear wing on the back of that car, but that's probably just visual damage.
Yeah, maybe Escher, hopefully Escher got that fixed. But it looks like...
I'd imagine it's pretty difficult to corner with a wing that's that busted, so...
Escher moving to the inside, trying to defend off Michael. Can Michael make it all the way around the outside? It looks like he can, but he touches the wall. Is that going to leave them compromised? They seem to slide it all the way around like that. Ooh, whatever that NASCAR driver was, I'm going to search him up right now just so I don't...
Chastain, but we've lost another driver. We're down to 22.
No, that's two drivers who will be missing out on those additional 10 points for this evening. But,
unfortunate there, but it does seem like Eisenchenk is now starting to pull away a little bit from Xevious in P4. And the gap between Xevious and the chasing pack is just massive. I mean, it's 12 seconds.
Yeah, close battle as well is between Trouble and Fennec too. Towards the back. But this is, yeah, this is also extremely close between Valside and Jedlin.
Yeah, Jedlin now with a fixed car recovering those positions that he lost earlier. Making a comeback in this race, but the best he can do without a safety car is going to have to be P5, I think. Because Holman's 3 seconds up the road, and the rest, as I said, 12 down the road. So that's a very sizable gap on a track with just 4 corners.
Yeah, it's mad to think how wide some of these cars are spread, and whether... Well, we're going to have to hope that for some drivers to gain, they're going to have to work together with other drivers, maybe even back markers, to give the slipstream, to push them along, to drag them, to try and gain on other drivers. Hopefully, we'll see some closer battles towards the end of this race.
And it definitely seems like we've lapped some drivers that are even in the top 10 now, as Trouble here, right behind his teammate Valeside, but Valeside in P7, Trouble in P12. These battles kind of intermingling as we speak.
Yeah, but...
And now actually Fennec looking for an overtake for P12.
Yeah, that was actually for... I didn't realize that was for actual position there, but Fennec just slipping through. Fennec probably on better tires. You can just see how quick he was and how close Trouble got to that barrier. I'm surprised I didn't see Sparks.
And I think Jedlin's just overtaken a lapped car as well, but I'm not quite sure who that may be. It's definitely put a bit of a gap between him and Valeside, though.
Yeah, that could be Gillis or Exus. I'd be surprised if it was Eisenschenk.
Wait, hold on. No, Gillis is in P5, so he's still kind of on his own, doing his own thing.
He's just chilling.
That he is, and yeah, apologies in advance to Cuckoo because I do not know what position you're in. So if you're in any battles, just let us know.
Well, for me,
chat if you happen to find an extra arm to type with.
Well, I think I'm the lucky one then, because I can see that Cuckoo is P11 right now.
Ooh, all right. So wait, that means Fennec did not overtake for P11. That's for P12 then.
Yeah, you are correct. That was for P12. I think you said P12, didn't you?
No, I said P11.
Ah, that's
because
just...
on my screen it is P11, but it's just the positions don't match up on my screen.
I'm gonna quickly check just in case there is someone. For me, Exus is glitched. So if is Exus glitched for you?
Exus on my screen is in P13, which would probably be P14.
Okay, so we can compromise each other essentially. So you tell me what happens with Exus, I'll tell you what happens with Cuckoo then.
I'll do my best, as seems like the gap for P1 is really kind of stabilized. It's been hovering just over 2 seconds. It's not coming down at all. Kaze is too far to benefit from any sort of slipstream.
Well, Kaze is going to be behind, that looks like Kunisek up ahead. Oh, that's Dina potentially looking for a move with that fractured wrist. Whether he's going to be able to pull one off. He's very much looking down the inside, and Simon has given him the thing. He almost completely just came down. Oh, what? That's a missing front wing. Is that a missing front wing? Or am I just seeing things?
Yeah, that's a front wing on the car behind, and that is once again Speed, but I think he was going too fast to make it to the pits. He's going to have to do a whole extra lap with that crippled car now.
Now it's going to cause a lot of danger on track. A slow car, I mean, I think he's, at this point, he's going to have to go into infield and just hope that some cars don't come flying up to the back of him. And hope that he doesn't.
Some people having to change lines and even going to the infield
extremely close between some of that was Vealside and Trouble, like two teammates
on fresher tires.
Yeah. That is going to be Svi boxing. Very unfortunate for him. I'm hoping he boxes.
Well, he's got to make a full lap around the course before he could reach the pit lane, as someone else is coming into the pits as well.
That looks to be, that could be Fennec or Eddie.
I hope it's not Eddie again. It is Eddie.
No.
He's lost his rear wing. So he must have had a gargantuan accident to lose that part of the car. Unfortunately, sending him back down the grid again.
Eddie just running.
That's his second crash.
Eddie just running over Svi's pit crew just to try and get that advantage. Yeah, you can see that being fixed. I wonder, genuinely, they seem to come in very close to each other. Who's going to come out of the pit lane first between them?
Well, it all kind of depends on how many repairs they have to put in. Maybe for Jedlin that was a scheduled stop. I'm not sure, because he's out fairly quickly.
I mean, it is lap 44, and we saw a lot of drivers pitting around lap 23. So around this sort of time, we would be expecting a stop. So according to my calculations, if we're seeing a stop every 23 laps, we're going to be very much experiencing at least a 5-stop race this evening.
That's a lot of stops for you, as Simon now chasing down 2 teammates, but I believe they also might not be on the same lap. And we now have Exus and Runelink in the pits as well, so that's definitely got to be scheduled stops.
Yeah, I mean, no damage seems to have occurred, but Runelink...
they're right behind each other too. Has Exus gained time here?
I believe Exus is a lap behind. Is he?
Oh, yeah, he is.
No, he isn't. Is he? Oh, no.
Exus is currently in P13, 2 minutes, 23 seconds behind the leader. So, yeah, he's not gained that much time, I imagine, being that far down. But it'll be interesting to see where Keza comes out once he pits, because earlier Runelink won by staying out a little longer, and now Keza seems to be trying the same.
Yeah, is Keza in... Yeah, Keza in P1 right now. I wonder, is he... Oh, I think Kaz is actually pitting. I saw a Moisty Scuderia enter the pit lane.
Vealside's in. And Kaz as well.
It was Kaz going in. And we're going to see Simon battling with Dina. And it looks like these two blue crew cars are going to be very much packing this entire track. Oh my god.
Good thing physics are off in the pit lane, because otherwise that would have been the end of Kaze's race. Now, where is he going to come out compared to Runelink? Runelink now coming around the final quarter.
I think he's
a very important straight for him.
I think he's got him. I think he's just going to have that absolutely essential momentum to make it all the way around the outside, and Kaze's going to be stuck on that really slow inside, and you can see just glides past him around the outside as Kaze is going to be stuck on that infield section.
And Kaze may well come out in traffic again, as there's two very, very fast cars on his right-hand side.
Now Eisenschank now boxing as well.
As we've lost another driver, we're down to 21.
Haha, very fun. Gillis once again out the oh no! Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't realize who it was. Gillis is out the race. No!
Oh, not again.
Very, very unfortunate for Gillis. I very much hope that isn't a technical problem.
As Eisenschank now coming out, that's going to be interesting for Xevious, who is now leading this race by half a minute. But I think, again, this pit lane is quite a long one, and the pit stops can bring you a lap down even after you pit from the lead. So, yeah, a large gap at the front may not necessarily always mean you are actually all the way up there.
I mean, the pit entrance and the pit exit is absolutely essential here. You're going to be wanting to get as much speed into the pit lane and the most speed out of the pit lane. But on the other hand, going in genuinely might be safer than going out, since that infield section is just, it doesn't have the same amount of rubber nor banking. It could just cause so much, you could spin so easily, and it's about those drivers who have that amount of balls to try and push it all the way through there without overdoing it, and that can easily gain them a second on another driver who's trying to take it a bit chill and take it safe through there.
And I'll tell you who else wants to gain a full second. That would be Kaze, because according to the timings, he is a little bit closer to Runelink, but he's still got these two cars between them, and he's going to have to overtake them, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very simple task. Just trying to find out who exactly that is in front of him, though. I think it might be Jedlin with someone else.
I think that might be Exus as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. So Exus and Jedlin, not even on the same lap, fighting it out in front of Kaze. That's going to frustrate him.
Yeah, but at the same time, it could give him that extra little bit of slipstream to gain if he's clever about it.
That is well, Eddie is again in the pits. Someone else, wait, was that Xevious with the damaged car? No, it's Carlos, I believe. Yeah, Carlos with a very damaged car in the pit lane. Xevious coming out in just a second. Going to be very interesting to see where he comes out compared to Eisenschank, who is now coming out of the final corner. Well, going into the final corner.
And Carlos losing some of his car away. But yeah, I wonder where is Xevious going to come out.
Ahead of Eisenschank at the moment.
I mean, Eisenschank, though, he's going to have that momentum. He's going to have that extra gear to make it around the corner. I think it's going to be extremely close. Remember, Xevious is going to be extremely slow. I don't think he's going to have enough to properly gain on him. But I think it's going to be enough to close some sort of gap. You see Eisenschank fly it around the outside, as we're seeing.
Wait, did someone just disappear down his inside?
No, someone's using the infield section. Someone might have damage.
Well, Fennec seems to be going into the pits at least, but he's gone to the pits very, very recently, so that can't be scheduled, I don't think.
I don't see any damage on the car, so whether he forgot to fuel, I hope it isn't the glitch where he's run out of fuel. If so, that is incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah, now Xevious seems to be fighting with another back marker. I think he's just got an overtake done there. He has jumped Eisenschank in the pit stops, and Kaze has failed to do the same to Runelink. The gap is once again 2.1 seconds.
But Eisenchank's only a second behind now, and he's got that slipstream of that back marker behind, so he could use that to gain on Xevious. You can see the car already just climbing through the slipstream, and he's pushing, and hopefully this back marker doesn't hold him up too much. As they head through the corner, and the back marker actually letting him go by. That's going to be absolutely essential for Eisenschank to get onto the back of Xevious, and he's within 5 tenths. Crucial slipstreaming area, and Eisenschenk is going to be absolutely so happy that that back marker got out of the way. They didn't have to, but they did, and now we're going to be watching this amazing battle for third place between Eisenschenk and Xevious. Xevious on better tyres, but Eisenschenk seems to have the momentum and the speed right now.
He's lifting off, not taking any risks with still an hour left to go. I think he's definitely content with having this much pace over Xevious, but yeah, then again, it was also thanks to the slingshot maneuver he was able to pull off thanks to that back marker. But now, very, very close on the straight. He may well look for the inside this time.
And he does, going into the third corner. Hopefully we don't see contact between these drivers. Xevious lifting off a bit, giving him the inside line, but might try to climb back and stay in that slipstream. Maybe these two drivers might think about a strategy to gain on the front runners, though they are 13 seconds ahead. But there seems to be a battle behind as well.
Svi had just gotten an overtake done on Escher, which was actually the back marker that let these guys through, so... Svi recovering some positions. He's back up to P17 and has a chance for P16 as well, just 8 seconds behind Michael.
Hopefully he can do this recovery drive today. But you can see how big of slipstream affects everything here. You can just see that as much as Eisenschenk seemed to be quicker behind Xevious, Xevious is now all up behind Eisenschenk and is going to be looking for a move down the inside. They're going to be swapping places once again. This is the driver's POV, and hopefully we won't see anyone cross over each other as we see Xevious back into P3, and I don't think we're done between these two at all over the course of this race. Oh, I almost jinxed it there. Oh my god.
Some awkward counter steering. So he's gonna want to be very, very careful now in this battle with Xevious, because I think Xevious's car is a bit more planted at this stage. Yeah, Xevious definitely going to be having more tyre advantage, and I think what Eisenschenk genuinely needs to start doing, I mean, he's got no drivers behind, but I think what he needs to start doing is very much using as we see Kunishek overtaking Veilside for P6.
I think that's also Svi trying to unlap himself behind, flying past
Yep.
Veilside as well, which is...
Hold on, Keza has suddenly lost a good second and a half to the lead.
Hopefully that wasn't because of any sort of damage, but behind you can see two people fighting of, I believe that's Exus and who else that could be, but
it's not Kuku, but Kuku does seem to be involved in some sort of big 4-car brawl.
Is that the brawl involving Ultimate K's, or is that someone else? No, it isn't.
It's someone else, and there's actually a pink car on the wall again, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like all of a sudden... Oh! I thought that car was going straight to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, hold on. It looks like Case is going for a move there on... Well, it's a lapped car. I'm just not sure quite which one. Is that Jedlin? Yeah, it is Jedlin.
So P5.
We've lapped everyone up to P5 now.
That is absolutely incredible. Ultimate K's is going to tuck into that slipstream and look for the move down the inside. He's up. He's not properly entitled to that, but Jedlin leaves him the space. And Ultimate K's
is looking very hungry for that position too. He's going to try and sneak in along with K's. There's 3 wide.
Oh, K's was not hoping for this one bit.
And somehow Jedlin just finding extra speed on the outside line. That is pretty interesting. And speaking of interesting, it seems that Xevious has lost a position again to Eisenschenk for P3.
Yeah, these two just absolutely swapping between each other, leaving no gaps, and crucially not making any too big mistakes between them.
As Kuku now coming into the pits with, or leaving the pits with what seems to be a damaged car. So I hope that's not a case of going to the pits trying to fix damage and leaving without having it fixed.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen glitches in AMS2 before, but we also know about the viewing model and how badly it can affect. No. And that's Eddie into the wall at the final corner. They've got to continue since they've got a bunch of fast cars flying behind them, and if that is damage, They're going to have to try and last another lap.
There's no way Ross Chastaning it that hard and not getting any damage in an Indy car. That's going to be disastrous for his race. He's already in 20th place. He's just had so many crashes this race. I think it must be the tire wear that's just not being very kind to him. And as a fellow pad driver, I can definitely understand the struggle. But it's a shame because he did a lot better in the pre-season oval.
Yeah. I mean, the tire wear, I think, very equal since me being controller player. I raced it and I think it lasted. I was driving with some of the drivers whose tyres were lasting about 23 laps. I was lasting the same with them. Yeah, Eddie, I've got to give it to Eddie. He lasted another lap, and if he did what I did when I was racing with the others, where I all of a sudden dived to the left, that would have been a safety car, and that would have been Eddie instantly penalised. So at least he has some common sense, unlike me.
Well, that's what you love to hear for the people that are still on track. It seems like Keza has in fact overtaken Jedlin and Exus safely now. Jedlin gonna try and stay with him in that slipstream, but Keza just having a lot of pace. Still fighting for the win with Runelink, but Runelink slowly pulling away now, a 4.4 second gap. Eddie now leaving the pits as well. The battle between Kunyashek and Veilside hasn't stopped though, and the same can be said for the fight between Xevious and Eisenshank. Which one should we stick with for now?
I think we should stay on this, whoa, what's more interesting? Let's stay with the lead battle for now. But I've just, some information has just come in, and I found out who that other driver who disconnected was, and that it was Wild Package.
Oh.
And, Wild Package saying that, their GPU crashed for both of them. So I'm guessing when he says both of them, I'm guessing he means Gillis too. That is extremely unfortunate and that must be so annoying.
I mean, it has to be. It's just it's the same as a mechanical DNF in real life. You just have no control over that kind of situation. Also, why is there a green flag on the screen right now?
I accidentally touched a button I shouldn't have pressed.
At least it wasn't another commentator button, but yeah, there is in fact a green flag on the track in the form of safe racing conditions. We haven't had a safety car all race. Most drivers seem to be doing relatively fine out there. We have seen the occasional wall bang there, but nothing serious enough to cause any sort of pile up.
I've got to say that was you that time. That wasn't me. As we see Svi in the pit lane. Probably the last place he wants to be.
Two battles we mentioned earlier, though, still ongoing. The fights for P7 and P3.
I feel like at this point in the race, with about an hour, not even an hour, 50 minutes left, I am genuinely, I genuinely think I should give everyone their points back and ask the opinion of, is there actually going to be a safety car at all?
No. It was a fair bet. I definitely don't have any stakes in this bet being upheld, but yes, I think we should keep it as it is.
See, this is what happens when I put the vote out. Yeah, I'm expecting there to be at least 5 safety cars, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "No, we're gonna be nice, you know. We're actually gonna have an oval race without safety cars." I've never seen an oval race without a safety car in real life as well. This will be a first for not only not only MSR with not having a safety car in an oval race, let alone any.
Yeah, I mean, maybe everyone's just suddenly gained into the wisdom of the ages, and they found out how to avoid contact on an oval, although it could also be due to the unique properties of this track being a squoval rather than a true oval as well. As Exus has come into the pits, it seemed like his car might have been damaged, but that looked like a fuel stop to me. As Runelink is now coming into the pits. That is really, really big. That is for the lead. Keza now inheriting said lead. The fight for P3 now becoming the fight for P2, but it's still a net P3.
Oh, you can see Xevious lifting there. He's playing those mind games where he's staying behind, using the slipstream. I wonder, is there a possibility that these two might be working in a sort of way together to try and gain on the lead group, using each other's slipstream to an effect so that they are able to push their car and able to carry on pushing forward?
I definitely think that unless the top two mess up in a big way, that there's no chance that these guys can catch back up to him. The gap is 10 seconds at the very least. It's pretty difficult to catch on a track like this. I do peg Xevious to be the kind of guy that would be strategic about this and just stay in the slipstream for a while. And Eisenchenk is going to be more than grateful that he doesn't have to be on the nasty line anymore with that seemingly quite unstable car.
Something that I've just noticed actually is how big these back markers can affect you. Because you saw Xevious went wide just by a bit, and essentially lost 5 crucial tenths to Eisenchenk, which has potentially lost him quite a bit of slipstream, and could affect him massively. But he's, as I say that, Eisenschenk's going too wide, and that's going to massively help Xevious get a run on him.
Yeah, I was about to say, Eisenchenk got a slipstream there. He was able to take the inside line, so it was kind of like a slingshot, and now he's being re-overtaken by the back markers. As Keza now pits as well, so where is he going to come out compared to Runelink?
This is definitely, to my calculations, we're, I think, almost halfway through the race. So this is, I think this is going to be around the Indy 150.
Wait, hold on. Xevious is ahead of Eisenchenk. How'd that happen?
I think he made an overtake into corner 1.
Well, you're going to need an Undertaker for that.
That is absolutely... Oh no, hopefully he didn't get disqualified. But he
still seems to be going forward, so that is the best place in the game to crash. I mean, he's right there to get his car repaired, but that will absolutely destroy his podium chances. That is very unfortunate for Eisenchenk there.
I wonder who got collected there, though. So I saw someone get collected, and I think that's going to be a ticket raised against Eisenchenk.
For sure, and in the meantime, I think Hayes has come out in clean air, and Runelink once again proving to be the pit stop genius because he's gained another second on Hayes.
He's just genuinely, Runelink is incredible, and I think I was actually talking to him earlier. Of course, I can say this now because it pretty much at this point will not hinder other drivers when it comes to strategy. And he was talking about potentially, when it came to the pit lane, changing his first and maybe even second gear so that he doesn't, because you know how long the gears are on this car are, yeah? Changing the first or second gear so that it gives him just that extra bit of acceleration so he can push out of the pit box quicker rather than in a way sort of slowly letting them out of the pit lane. He can rev it a bit higher, get that acceleration that you'd expect to get from a road car, yeah, and then use that to maybe gain a couple seconds on exit of the pit box. But this is extremely close.
We got a 4-way fight here on the main straight. 3 cars for position. This is the fight for P6 between Findix, Veilside, and Trouble. So 2 teammates involved as well. Veilside was kind of biding his time, but catching these guys nevertheless.
Yeah, Veilside overtaking Cuckoo there as well. So this is very much a close battle, and Findix just up ahead. It's whether Veilside can get into that top 5 and navigate these other drivers who he's fighting for position for. But you can already see Cuckoo, maybe with worn tyres, as very much slowly drifting away from this pack, but hopefully they can regain in that slipstream and gain on this pack to once again make it 1 rather than 2.
Oh, hold on, that's Trouble. Yeah, Trouble is now, lost the position as they both tapped the wall there. But it was interesting because you can see Veilside refusing to overtake Findict. That's how they managed to get to this group of 2 cars and overtake them as well. And even now, despite the massive overspeed, Veilside choosing not to overtake that P5 car. So very, very interesting there. I wonder when he's going to get sick of waiting and go for the overtake, because they're pulling away from these 2 now. As Trouble now goes for another move on Cuckoo.
I mean, that is the effect. Essentially, the motto of this race is going to be teamwork is dream work.
Hold on, he's going for it already. So that's, he got sick of that sooner than I expected him to. Veilside up to P5.
Yeah, swapping positions. I wonder, is Findict going to react with the same pleasantries as Veilside did? But it doesn't look like he is, and Findict is going to be trying to look for that move down the inside to regain that 5th place position, and he does. So
yeah,
look,
Veilside starting the turn in there and then having to cancel out to make enough room for Finnick, so that's going to have cost them both a little bit of time. They are only about 4 seconds behind Binding, but I'm not sure where Binding is on pit stops, so this may be a net fight for P4 or P5, I don't know.
yeah, another battle ensuing behind as well as Cuckoo and Trouble, so very much close between the top 5, P5 and 6, and P7 and 8.
800 for that position. I think Trouble's starting to slowly drop away from Cuckoo, so maybe he'll be able to launch another attempt later. Nismo, do you have any audio issues?
As far as I'm concerned, no. I hope not.
Yes. I've just been hearing you cut out on a few messages from time to time.
Oh god. No, I'll check my Wi-Fi quickly just to make sure. No, I've got all green flags over here.
Ooh, Finnick's coming in now, so the battle with Veilside is postponed, to say the least.
So whether this undercut could help Finnick against Veilside, or maybe it could hinder it. We've seen the overcut work from RuneLink. So whether this could work out for RuneLink, as we see the charts come up, RuneLink on, oh my god, this is brilliant. RuneLink on lap 77, as well as with Ultimate K's and Exevius as well. But the rest of the grid, a lap or two behind, with Binding lap 76, Veilside lap 76, and a lot of drivers still on lap 75. So
yeah, it's a bit annoying that we can't see how many pit stops the people have done, though. We can see penalties and that kind of crap, but no pit stops.
yeah, as we see, oh, a bit of weaving on the straight there, but that looks to be a move.
No, it's not Trouble. Is that Veilside?
That's I think that was Veilside and Binding.
Veilside and Binding, indeed it was. So Binding surrendering that P4, that now going to Veilside. RuneLink still keeping that lead very, very stable. So yeah, it's an interesting. I'm not gonna say an interesting fight for P1 because there's been no action whatsoever. I mean, RuneLink stole the lead in the pits and hasn't returned it ever since. So Cases may feel like he's gotten mugged there, but yeah, he's gonna have to do a lot of perfect driving, essentially setting qualifying laps, getting lucky with slipstream if he wants to close that 4-second gap in the remaining 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, 40 minutes left. I think there's one thing that Kays is going to be relying on, and that is going to be a safety car to try and, if he wants any sort of chance right now, because we see how as much as RuneLink is quick, he is also consistent. And
I'll tell you who else has been consistent. That would be Jedlin now, making a move on Kunishek for P6.
As I believe they're also boxing, so using that slipstream to effect and able to pass them too.
Has Trouble now coming out of the pits, currently in P11, but I think Fennec is on the other side of the track, so that's a sizable gap there. But Fennec in his own battle with a lapped car, or maybe a car that's lapped to him. I'm not entirely sure.
Either way, I think it's Exus, because for me, Fennec is very much getting close to them, and they are ghosting, and I know Exus is glitched on my screen, so maybe some other people will be having issues with Exus as well.
Well, Exus seems fine on my screen, but he is in fact allowing Fennec to unlap himself, so that is indeed trying to get onto the same lap. But yeah, a whole lap's distance. Oh, a lot of people hitting the wall there.
I think that was partly Fennec's fault, as he did go up a bit earlier. I wasn't actually expecting him to. It seems as if he wobbled up a bit, and I think that might have caught Exus a bit off guard. Hopefully Exus doesn't have damage. We see a bit of rubber fly off the wall near Jedlin, and up ahead.
Good grief. I don't know who that is, but they are not doing the car any favors.
It looks to be Cuckoo, which is actually who Jedlin is battling, and they're going to be using their mistakes to their advantage.
Wait, is Cuckoo in P5?
Cuckoo is in P5.
Wow, Cuckoo doing a great job after, well, I assume they were at the back of this grid at the start of the race. I'm not sure with the faulty positions and all, but yeah, P5, not bad at all. But Jedlin's getting overtaken by someone on the inside. I think he's getting lapped by RuneLink. He is.
Absolutely remarkable, right, RuneLink. He's going to have to try and navigate his way through this battle. He's literally in the middle of a battle right now, which is just not the place you want to be when you're overtaking a back marker. You can see Jedlin using RuneLink's slipstream to get the inside of Cuckoo, and he used that to absolute amazing effect. I've got to say that was incredibly clever by Jedlin.
Yeah. Definitely using the situation to his advantage there, and it seems to have been costing RuneLink a bit of time though. RuneLink, that gap to K is now under 4 seconds, so having to contend with a bit of dirty air in the corners, and potentially people trying to unlap themselves, as Jedlin looking very aggressive there right behind.
Yeah, and I don't blame RuneLink. He's probably noticed that Ultimate K's has got within that 3 second, well, not within that second, but nearish that 3 second gap, and probably wants to carry on pushing, knowing that Ultimate K's won't have as much of a hassle as he has, so he's probably going to be wanting to be a bit more aggressive, wanting to fully be able to get ahead and stay ahead.
In the meantime, someone who's been a little bit under the radar so far this race, Tomahawk's in P16. He's just been overtaken by Fee and by someone else as well, but that was a lapped car. I think Fee was for position. So yeah, it's just potentially a bit more contact with the wall there. Of course, that may be some desync issues. We never quite know for sure. But Tomahawk's not quite having the race he would have hoped for, setting a 40.3 lap time, whereas most others are setting 39s, some of the quick boys even 38s.
Yeah, so there is one glitch that I hope no one's got today. I don't think I've seen anyone, where sometimes if you don't change your setup before the race or before qualifying, it can put you on the weirdest gearing setup you've ever had, and you'll top out at like 209 kph.
Well, I don't think we quite have anyone that's suffering from such extreme mechanical pains, but it does seem like the gap between P1 and P2 has now come down almost half. It's 2.5 seconds now, so RuneLink not having a good experience with that traffic there. Or maybe Kaze has just been slingshotting it. We don't quite know.
I mean, you saw how much RuneLink got stopped by sort of that pack ahead, as much as he did use it to his slipstream effect.
Is that Eddie? Yes, it is Eddie coming out in P20. Wait, is he coming out of the pits or is he crabbing?
That is massive crabbing, I hope.
Oh, it stopped now.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't just you. I was also noticing the crabbing. Yeah, very much frightened for maybe it's his controller. You can see those little inputs he's having to do.
Yeah, he seems fine now though, and of course the counter steering to the right is just a default thing in these Indy cars, where they just they make it a bit harder to go straight, but they make it easier to turn left.
Looks like he's trying to shake the car, to be honest.
He's preparing a milkshake in that steering wheel. It's a secret compartment on the back.
Hey, I mean, someone did mention in the chat, not in the Twitch chat, but the league chat, about what drivers from the actual IndyCar series preferred what sort of milk. So,
yeah.
So I remember someone was like, what sort of milk? Whole milk, semi, or I think the normal version. And then someone said chocolate, and then someone said, I'm not gonna win it unless there's strawberry milk, and I just genuine, that was hilarious.
Yeah, I believe there would be a steward's inquiry raised over that. At least that was the threat coming from Eisenschenk, currently in P6. So pretty decent recovery from his massive accident. But yeah, it's I think the best he can hope for now is a P4 finish, and even for that, Valesad's gonna have to have an almighty mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Or a safety car within these next 5 minutes. And I genuinely cannot believe it. It's been an entire hour and we haven't had a safety car. Even in a road series, we would have a safety car by now. This is unnatural. I don't like it. I need chaos.
It's very strange. I mean, we've had races, especially with some of the slower cars, where we've had an absolute crap ton of safety cars. Like, you'd have a safety car, and then you'd have a safety car restart, and then like 3 corners later, you'd have another safety car. And now they've been behaving, I won't say like absolute angels, because we've seen quite a few crashes, but there hasn't been a single big one, so it seems like at least the biggest boneheaded moves have been left in the pit lane for today.
Look, I've been guaranteed chaos this race, and I feel like there ain't chaos. This is the one time I was expecting a save. It allows us to breathe sometimes, and there's just no chaos. Absolute clickbait. maybe when I put how many safety cars can we have in the blurb of the league announcements, maybe everyone took that as a challenge and was like, yeah, we're gonna prove you wrong, and I'm now suffering for it.
Well, at the moment, it definitely seems like the field's spread out a bit, but what are the standings looking like so far this season? Who is currently on top? Who is fighting for the win? How many people do we have in contention?
Let me have a quick look at that. So currently it's gonna be, ooh, fly just flew into my face. So currently the driver's standing is Ultimate K's in P1 with 59 points ahead of Eddie, his teammates, who doesn't seem to be doing all too good.
Hold on, K's is making a move for the lead.
Oh my
Something's wrong with Runelink.
That's ruining
coming into the pit.
Oh,
Yeah, Runelink just started bleeding a lot of time and then got overtaken before entering the pit, so I don't see any damage on the car, but I'm really not sure. Maybe that's maybe he started running out of fuel?
yeah, that is very unfortunate for Runelink. Runelink very much not properly up there, but definitely seems like a contender.
Yeah, and that plays right into K's hands. I mean, K's, you said leading the standings, now leading this race as well.
Yeah,
Unless that was a planned pit stop, and it seems unlikely, Keza is well on his way to win this race.
And funny enough, you won't guess who the closest person to him in the standings is.
Trouble.
Eddie.
Eddie, ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie's...
that is going to leave a massive
Oh no.
boost, and I think...
Eddie's out of this race.
Yeah. So that
So we are down another driver, and it just so happens to be Eddie's. That is very unfortunate. Having made it an hour into this race, there's a rear wing in the middle of that corner.
No, don't want to run over that. Don't want to get I know you can't get a puncture, but don't want to get any sort of wing damage at all. In third place.
Yeah, go ahead.
In third place in the championship, funny enough, is the person we're looking at right now, Eisenshank. Joint with Cuckoo on 42 points, 17 points behind our championship leader and our current race leader, Ultimate K. So they're going to be looking to try and score a bit high today.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to interrupt you just for a second. Their Ultimate K's is now in the pits, so maybe that was a planned stop from Runelink anyway, or K's is just reacting to it. It's a little hard to find out, but once again, Xevious in the lead, and Runelink may well end up ahead of Keza again after this pit stop.
Oh, and there is a there's a slim chance, since I think K's is going to be leaving the pit lane now, as Runelink
there's no way. There's no way. K's is way ahead. Runelink is still on the back straight, and K's is exiting turn 1.
So there was clearly damage for Runelink then, which is very unfortunate for him. But hopefully we can see him fly back up through the field.
As it seems like Veilside is starting to catch Findict again by a little bit. The gap between them is down to less than 2 seconds again. I think the last time we saw these guys battle was probably about 10 laps ago, so we're well on for a rematch. And yeah, quite a few people in the pits now. It's probably not for damage, as we've not seen too many massive incidents, as we see Michael there. I believe that is Runelink's teammate, if I'm not mistaken, so not having the best of races there for the team. And Binding here is chasing Kunishek, and this is actually a big pack of cars.
Yeah, it very much is, and hopefully, I think the two we're watching, the two closest, Binding and Kunishek, are fighting for position. I wonder, and I think Cuckoo as well, fighting for position. So whether Cuckoo and Binding might actually work together to, in a way, sandwich Kunishek. Not, of course, not do anything illegal like brake checking, of course. But whether they're gonna help each other as teammates. I mean, you can see how close they are literally sandwiching him, and that looks to be Binding going for that inside move, and that is Kunishek giving him the space, maybe a bit too much, but keeping it nice and safe. That's Binding up to P9 behind their teammate of Cuckoo.
Yeah, Kunishek just kind of surrendering that position there, and it seems like whoever's behind them is more than willing to overtake them for their troubles. I
think that's Jedlin as well, racing for position on against Kunisek as well.
Was that a car flying in the air? I saw a weird shadow.
I think that's the helicopter.
Oh, okay. I mean, some cars have been acting like helicopters in this race, as we see Michael getting lapped.
Yeah, I can't lie. In practice, we definitely saw some helicopters.
Ooh, hold on, this fight is getting real spicy here. Jedlin now making a move on Kunishek and looking for one on Binding. And Trouble is just now coming out of the pits, I think, as well. Or no, he's just going into the pits.
Yeah, just going.
No, coming out. Oh, Jedlin's off.
What happened there? Oh, no! And that's a helicopter blade of a wing flying onto the track. What happened there with Jedlin?
I really don't know. It was either some very minor contact, as he's luckily able to bring it back to the pits, or he just lost the back end. It's hard to tell. I mean, he had a lot of pace. There was probably a lot of dirty air in front of him as well, so that's also something that plays a role in that. Findick now coming out of the pits, so we're not going to get a rematch with Veilside after all.
It seems like someone ahead of Jedlin, actually, who he's fighting, is also boxing. So whether they will come out close together...
That is Trouble pitting as well, so that'll be interesting to see if they have similar lengths for pit stops, but I'd have to imagine that Trouble's will be shorter because he's not missing any parts on his car.
Yeah, his car definitely looking a bit more healthy than Jedlin's.
So I'll just give you another rundown of the current race order we have. Xavius now coming into the pits, actually, so he's going to relinquish the lead. It's going to go back to Ultimate K's. Runelink, still not quite sure what happened to him. He's in a fairly safe P2 at the moment.
I wonder...
Veilside. Oh, whoa, what's going on behind Veilside here?
Ooh, it looks like a very close battle. Hopefully it's a battle, or it could just be backmarkers, as we see multiple people boxed as well. I think that is Fennec as well boxing. As we see Kunisek passing, but...
Why is he lifting off? That was very odd. He had the move done and dusted.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to save fuel?
I mean, there's always that sort of case, or maybe he's just deciding he's going to pit this lap, but...
No, he's staying out and lifting off even more, so that's a very strange strategy. They're maybe trying to do a pit stop less than his rivals. But yeah, definitely not pushing the limits of the car whatsoever.
Maybe trying to save those tyres. Maybe he thinks with the current fuel he has, he can make it all the way.
Hold on, Xavius has come out right ahead of Runelink. This is a very tight fight for P2 now.
Yeah, looks like so. Runelink gonna dive it down the inside, passing Xavius. A very bold move, but definitely a move, and that's going to be a backmarker also trying to make his way past Xavius, but Xavius needs to get into that essential slipstream, and he has. He's been able to stay in that essential slipstream within those 4 tenths. As you see, Runelink kind of tried to sway out of that, sway him out that slipstream, and looks like we have a battle for P2 on our hands with 25 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and there's I mean, I don't know what's going on behind Veilside here, but it's very spicy as well. I don't quite think it's for position. That's why I'm not able to select the right cars, unfortunately. But yeah, very close action at the moment. Now, X, wow, this is half the grid.
Oh my god, this is literally, yeah, more than half the grid. I think this is 5%, as I think someone's gone off in corner 3.
Not sure who that might have been. We got Jedlin in the pits again.
Yeah,
I see someone going very slowly on the map, but they're almost going 3 wide over here.
Oh, a bit of movement with 25 laps left on the clock. I have no idea who's battling who, but this is going to be interesting.
That's another car on the wall. That is not Simon. That's one of his teammates, I believe.
A very laggy car indeed. I think that might be Sunisek. Not Sunisek, Kunisek. Yeah, that is Kunisek lagging quite a bit, and his car...
And from in the top 10 as well. That's disastrous so late in the race.
Hopefully... and I'm also watching the car ahead. It looks like some cars are starting to slowly get glitched. I hope this isn't a server issue. And I'm more hoping it's on my end so that the drivers that I'm seeing are lagging. But we're going to be seeing Trouble trying to navigate his way past these back markers that I don't...
It was Diener. Diener was the car that got wrecked in the background. But yeah, Trouble now navigating an absolute minefield. That's another light blue car on the wall.
What is going on with these last 25 laps? You just see... Oh, and that's very... Who is that behind? I think that's not
Runelink. It must be Michael.
It's Michael.
Is, in P17, currently chasing down Escher, who's only a second up the road, so this may be an overtake for P60 coming up.
Yeah, they're right in their sights now, and this is very much for position as we see them extremely close. Michael moves to the left-hand side of the track. Can they look for the dive? They actually slip back into the slipstream, and that's the absolutely flying Cookie Monster factory car, absolutely flying past. And Michael, teammate, is, as much as it's a back marker, is going to be helping to keep Michael at bay. So now Michael has to overtake 2 Cookie factory cars, and he's not even potentially battling with one for potential position. So this could very much work to Escher's favour. Maybe he can talk with his teammate to try and say, hey, you need to hold him up. You're a lap as much as you're a lap down. As I say that, he lets him go by though, as he might have drifted a bit wide.
And I just want to mention as well, Xevious had suddenly dropped back about 5 seconds away from Runelink and is now in the pits. So not sure if anything happened there, or if that was just the result of tire wear. But yeah, the fight for P2 is well and truly over, unfortunately, as we now have Jalen in the pits again. He just came from the pit lane and he's already lost his rear wing again, so I'm not sure what's going on with that car, but it cannot be any kind of good.
I've got to say the stock market for rear wings has definitely gone up after this race. Safety cars are sadly on a low though.
Now Michael overtaking the second pink car in as many laps, so Michael up to P15 now, but he's a good, well over a minute behind the next driver, so that is Jedlin though, so with that pit stop being quite lengthy for repairs, potentially a P14 for Michael if he can keep it on the road. And Veilside now pitting again as well.
So it looks like Vales, I think at this point of the race, if these are all timed pit stops, these are going to be the last. And I wonder, is Veilside going to get out ahead of Findick? They're going to be extremely close, but I think Findick's going to have that momentum to just easily push it around. But Veilside is going to be wanting to get in that slipstream and is going to be trying to stay as close as they can to try and stay within that second. But it looks like Findick has just got that momentum to drive away, and that could be Veilside out of his slipstream. But then again, you've got to think, Findick is on those more worn tyres, and Veilside could be taking these next few corners a lot quicker to get in that slipstream. So we could see in the next 20 minutes these two battling.
Yeah, and keep in mind as well, I mean, just a couple back markers can instantly turn a 3 second gap into a half-second gap, so everything kind of depends on just playing it safe, a little bit of luck as well, and Binding pitting apparently, as Binding is now in the pits from P8, just like Escher. Another 8 positions down. Eddie mentioning as well that he had some issues in first gear after pitting, so that seems like a bug if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, clearly a planned pit stop from both Escher and Binding. Not a slow one at all between either of them.
Ooh, also I just want to mention that Eisenschenk is within 2 seconds of Xevious now, so he is actually still fighting for a podium.
It could be extremely interesting between these two. 20 minutes left on the clock from this 1.5 hour race, and I've got to say, I am so surprised. One, we haven't had a safety car, but we still have 20 wait, we've lost 2 drivers since last time I checked.
No, we're still consistent with my screen.
Okay. But
he's very safe on the rejoin here. Nice to see.
Yeah, incredibly, but hopefully not too slow, as they're going to have some quicker cars fly by them. They've got to be predictable.
Oh, it's Eisenschenk actually, and he's trying his best to catch Xevious, so he's going to want to make quick work of this car, almost hitting the wall there too.
Yeah, Escher very much entitled to that inside, but definitely a lot slower. And I think behind is going to be Fennec.
Who else is Case's teammate?
Fennec. I believe Eddie is out,
Fennec.
sadly.
Yes. I remembered Eddie, just couldn't remember what team Fennec was in. So yeah, Fennec now trying to take advantage of that as well. thinking about making a 3 wide, but it seems like the car ahead has made the move stick, so that's only 2 wide and even 1 into the corner now. So nice and safe.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, at this point, I think Eisenschenk is going to be very much looking for the cleanest overtakes possible. Just in front of that car that we were looking at was Xavier, so he does have him in his sights. But whether Xavier will make any sort of mistake, or maybe he can work together with a backmarker car to gain within these next minutes.
Fennec's going to want to watch out too, because he's potentially getting involved in a battle for the podiums here, but he's also got Binding coming up behind. Binding, of course, his last lap was slower, so maybe they're pulling away. We'll have to wait and see what those lap times turn out to be. But yeah, Binding not too far behind at all. X is spinning now for P7.
Yeah, I wonder where he'll come out, because I genuinely have no idea. He's still glitched for me. But
also, hold on. Eisenschenk is now really, really close to Xavier.
Oh my god!
Some sort of damage?
I mean, I see a bent rear wing, and I'm hoping that isn't. I think there is damage. There's no way he gained 2 seconds all within a lap. And is he going to make the pass easy? I think Xavier might have potential damage here. Or maybe it's
It's going to depend on what he does once he's in the slipstream here, if he stays out and stays with them. But yeah, they've already massively dropped off the back of Eisenschenk in 1 corner.
absolutely incredible. Maybe Eisenschenk just properly getting used to the car, or maybe Xavier was looking to try and make some sort of tactical decision, and maybe it blowing up in his face. But I think with how Eisenschenk's pace right now is to Xavier. I mean, Xavier's last lap, almost a 41 compared to Eisenschenk's 39.5. That is almost an entire second in a lap, which, you know, normal racing, it's pretty big. Oval racing, it's like a whole lifetime.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Fennec may well try and make that overtake soon. He's not able to hold on to the slipstream of Eisenschenk, so I think that may be Xavier's podium hopes over. Unless something unexpected happens in the front, but those guys up there have quite a bit of pace. Last lap now, another 39, but still slower than Eisenschenk, and Eisenschenk is no longer in anyone's slipstream, so he's just pulling away in clean air.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're now seeing him he was 39.5 last lap, and they're now looking at him do a 39.2, so yeah, he's got very much quicker. As we see Runelink, is that a scheduled pit stop? It's very quick fuel.
It probably was a scheduled pit stop, so I imagine a lot of other people are going to have to come in too, but unless Kaysa has an absolute brain fart, I don't think he's going to lose that 18-second lead that he had, even if he pits again.
Yeah, Kaysa's going to be, fingers crossed, not hoping for a safety car, and I don't think there's going to be 5 safety cars within these 15 minutes.
I should have bet more points then, and I only put 10 in.
But yeah, absolutely unfortunate for Runelink, but Kay's very much going to be smiling. Let's see if we can bring up the telemetries to see what everyone's on. So yeah, Ultimate K's, he's lapped the field, and the closest person to him by 2 laps, which is Runelink, which is just absolutely insane. And yeah, running absolutely amazing time still pushing the car, even though he's a minute ahead, and trying to just keep that 55-second lead. And if a safety car comes out at this point, he is going to be dreading life. But I think he's going to have enough of a gap to genuinely get away with having a pit stop and staying ahead. But it would still be absolutely horrible for him
also,
to...
hold on. Scratch that about Binding catching up to Fennec, because Exus has now overtaken Binding and may well be on his way to go catch Fennec as well. As Kaysa now coming into the pit, so once again shadowing his rival Runelink. But yeah, that was quite a gap. He was 2 laps ahead according to those timing sheets. Unless his pit crew decides to become Ferrari, I think he's probably fine.
Yeah, Runelink is...
that wing is looking a little bent though.
Yeah, hopefully... I think he is actually leaving the pit lane now. So yeah, very much a splash and dash there. And he's going to be looking to make it all the way to the end. As I think my timing chart's glitched, because it says that Runelink is 0 seconds behind. I think that was actually because it was glitched and didn't actually apprehend the fact that Runic was so far behind.
Wait. Oh no, yeah, it was definitely glitched because it said Runelink was fighting Skeevius, but they're a whole lap apart. So
Yeah, and
Eisencheck is in the pit again, so that's another late stop for him. But Finnick coming too. I think we might see everyone come in for these final few moments.
oh, and you've become extremely robotic for me.
Oh, hello, Earth and Ismo.
Yeah, it's still a bit. You might want to disconnect and reconnect because I'm just checking my Wi-Fi and it seems fine. So I don't know. I think that might be a your end thing, sadly. Hopefully, get that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're still robotic? No.
No.
I am seeing. I did just see. Oh, I think this might be me actually. I am seeing a lot of. I'm going to double check my.
On my end, by the way.
A lot of cars seem to be glitching out for me, but I'm checking my recording and it still says everything is running at excellent, which is incredibly weird. But yeah, no, everything on stream is fine. You might just be a bit robotic.
I have lost my human soul.
Yeah. Yeah, you might just want to quickly. I don't know if you can rejoin. I'm guessing you can rejoin this voice channel. Now that you
I
are.
already did, but didn't seem to do anything.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. Okay, maybe that's just. Yeah, you. Maybe I will quickly do that then, just in case it is me. And it was me because my Discord has now all of a sudden just died. So I hope everyone on the stream is completely fine. I'm gonna have to talk to Martin through my stream and potentially through my phone. My whole thing's gone down. Oh my god, Discord has gone down. Oh dear. This is incredibly bad. I hope everyone on stream is fine, but I'm gonna have to commentate these last few without, or maybe my entire Wi-Fi has gone down. I hope it hasn't, and I hope everyone is safe right now. But I think my entire Wi-Fi has disconnected. Oh no, this is bad.
Or very much not good.
My Wi-Fi does seem to be crapping itself. Oh dear, I hope this isn't laggy for everyone on Twitch because my entire internet has seemed to want to die as we hit
the
these.
stream frame rate seems to be fine for me as a viewer, so I wouldn't worry too much. I don't have sound on, so maybe your voice is choppy, I don't know. But Veilside's car has crapped this up because he's now in the pit with 10 minutes left, and his rear wing looks like it has been, well, smashed with a hammer.
Yeah, the very much looks like a NASCAR. Oh, I just saw a car enter. Yeah, my whole thing is. Ah, no. The last 10 minutes, my whole thing seems to be glitched. My computer is stressing out. Oh, God. This is incredibly bad. I think I might have disconnected. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. Well, wait, hold on. I'm just taking a look at your stream. I'm not sure how far behind it is, but you're still in the game for me.
Yeah, it's still in the game, but it's counting down. I think I'm gonna quickly disconnect. You're gonna have to describe what's going on for me, if that's okay.
Can people still hear me then?
They can still hear you. I believe they can still hear you. I'm gonna quickly
All
make
right.
sure. I believe they can still hear you. I'm gonna. Yeah,
so
they
currently on screen, a shot of Keza leading the race. He's ahead of some lapped cars. He's doing fine. 17 seconds ahead of Runelink in P2. Xevious in P3, a good full minute down, so I believe he is not on the same lap. I'm just going to take a quick look to confirm. Xevious on the same lap as Runelink, but definitely far, far behind Keza, so he's definitely still going to want to watch out for... well, no, actually, he's very far ahead of Eisenschenk as well, so that is not an issue for him unless he has some sort of crash in these final few moments. No massive on-track action as far as the eye can see at the moment. So everything going pretty easy going for these final few laps, which I believe we're about to get another person to visit the pit lane.
I am rejoining
That would
back,
be
so
Michael.
that's some good news.
Michael is now in the pits, on-track action at an all-time low. So I think your game took a good time to crap itself because there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Perfect. But yeah, that is incredible. I think it might be my my Steam and my Discord, maybe even my PC overheating, not liking me one bit. But yeah, we're back. Live streaming, and it looks like everything is still okay. In fact, I'm gonna quickly get a thing just to check my temperatures of my computer. They all look fine, so let's just head back to the race.
And we can see Svi here inside a whole sandwich of cars, but not for position, so don't ask me who these people are. Kunishek now pitting from the top 10, so despite that earlier crash, still at a pretty respectable position. Not sure, I think he might just lose one position from this pit stop. It'll be trouble moving up to P10 then.
Something that is quite interesting as well is Exus has actually, he's been fixed now. He's showing as actually P6 on my leaderboard. So
Hey.
at least there was one sort of good thing that came out of this. But yeah, still the whole grid sort of spread, and with these 7 minutes left to go, it's going to be extremely.
Ooh, hold on, there's I believe a red car that's smashed into the wall there. Was that trouble? No, it wasn't. Was it Veilside? Yes, I think it was. Has he damaged his car again?
If he has, I would right now. If he has, I would live with it for these next 7 minutes. I would live with that damage. He's got who's behind him? Is that Exus behind him or in front? No, that's just in front. He's got Binding behind him by 8 seconds. Binding would, I think, gain. But I do think if he were to pit right now, he would lose so much time. He wouldn't lose like a couple laps. If you've got damage, you would lose at least 3. And I think if you keep that wing on, you're gonna at least lose at least 30 seconds, which is massive. But it's better than at least losing 2 or 3 laps to someone.
Yeah, that is quite true.
Oh.
And a little love tap with the wall there from Michael, as the pack seems to be bunching up again in certain parts of the grid. But this fight not for position once again. That is a lapped car trying to unlap themselves from Michael, who is chasing down Simon, who's just a little bit up the road, just 3 seconds ahead. But no moves going there. But right behind them, there's another fight going on. Who are these people?
That it could be Eisenshank or Exus. I saw. Did you see sparks flying?
I saw sparks fly. That was unnecessarily close. Those guys are teammates, right?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, if there's one person that's going to race you hard, it's always going to be your teammate. But of course, you cannot commit the unthinkable rule of taking out your teammate. Otherwise, then you will be banished to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, just ask a certain Italian team in Brazil just a couple of years ago. That was an interesting one, too. The lead has grown by about 3 seconds in the last few laps, so that may be RuneLink trying to play it safe. And RuneLink is actually the guy who almost died there, so that was very interesting.
Oh my god, yeah, that would have made his race go from bad, from him leading. Well, to be honest, his race is still going pretty good.
Well, even if he crashed now, he would not finish last, because he is just that many laps ahead of some of the other drivers right
Behind,
now.
I saw the McLaren Arrow of Arrow's McLaren.
Michael.
Of Mikey, very much. It looked like he was drifting through those last 2 corners.
That's probably a glitch, because I don't think he'd still be in this pack if he was. That's Jedlin's pitting again. That's unfortunate.
Michael extremely close. Oh my god, it looked like he was going to touch, I believe, Exus there for a second. But he's looking to unlap himself and go down the inside of Exus. Oh my god. Do not scare me like that, Michael. That is way too close for even my comfort zone. But yeah, I think Michael just using this slipstream. Maybe he wants to potentially, if the car ahead of him, not the car ahead, but the person who he's battling with ahead, is able to make any sort of small mistake since they're at the back of a small group. Maybe he can gain. And on top of that, he's got Escher 5 seconds behind. He's got 5 seconds ahead, 5 seconds behind. And whether he can just keep within this pack and stay. Jesus Christ, he's close. I don't like. Oh, that's contact
to me. Oh,
that's a bit more. Oh, that's too close. That's too close.
That's what an IndyCar gearbox looks like.
Wow. Oh my god, that was. Oh, we have yellow flags in the last sector, and I think that's gonna be a. I think that's a cut off. Oh!
Whoa! What the? Okay, that was a glitch. That didn't actually happen, but there are cars.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's some people coming into the pits. We got Ant Carlos with a destroyed car. We got Svi doing Svi things. I don't know who that was on the side of the track though, but that car was destroyed.
I think that might be Jedlin. Jedlin's dropped down to P14.
Keza's lost the lead of the race.
No! What? This late? This is absolutely diabolical. But if he pits...
It's too late to call a safety car too. We're in the last 3 minutes of the race. Keza's lost the lead. Runelink is back in the lead. He's been losing time like crazy, but he's at least got his entire car. Keza is missing his rear wing.
This could be a Drive to Survive episode right now.
Oh, I can imagine that Keza is exercising a lot of self-control in that voice chat at the moment, because leading a significant portion of the race, especially after your rival has made whatever mistake he did earlier, and then losing it that late, that is one of the worst feelings in racing. But I think he is still on for a top 4 finish at the very least, maybe a top 5 or 6 if it's really bad.
This is one of the reasons which I sort of don't race, to be fully honest. It's because a race can go from going so well to that one small thing could mess up your entire race, and you could be going from leading with a massive 30-second margin to all of a sudden you've dropped multiple positions. And I really do wonder now how bad that damage is, and where is Ultimate K's gonna end up finishing this race.
Yeah, we'll have to keep a close eye on that little pit indicator there, as Exus is keeping an eye on Valeside. These guys only separated by about a second and a back marker, so definitely a move still possible, but there's only a minute and a half left in this race.
That is extremely unfortunate. I very much feel for Ultimate K's. I genuinely, it is must be so upsetting. Oh my god, X is going extremely wide. Those tyres clearly are dead.
K's now rejoining the track. Where is Eisenschenk?
Oh, he's leaving the pit lane. This could be close between the drivers.
Oh, he's kind of towards the end of the straight though. I think he might be safe from Eisenschenk here, barely recovering a podium. That's going to be a very, very tight margin.
He's part of a battle up ahead,
yeah,
and whether
inside, side by side, he's going to be losing time like crazy if that keeps up.
Yeah, you can just see how much Eisenschenk has gained. Can Ultimate K's at least finish on the podium after that horrific crash? To be honest, I'm surprised he isn't even further back. But right now, he's held it in the podium, and I believe there's going to be 2 laps remaining of this race. And whether Eisenschenk can make some sort of last-minute ditch effort to get onto that podium to find the slipstream he needs.
I was gonna say he's got a bit of a slingshot there, but that car kind of impeded him on exit, so he had to lift off ever so slightly. When there's that little time left in the race, that may well have killed his chances. I think Keza will be safe. He's now overtaken the back marker ahead. Keza, P3, Runelink is about to start the final lap, I think, unless the race is going to end.
I think the race is going to end. It's going to be Runelink going around the final corner. It's been an absolute roller coaster of a race, from going from taking the pole, P1, going down to P2, but he's going to end up finishing in P1, crossing the line. I think that we still have one more lap to go, actually, so I'm going to hold that statement later. And whether Eisenschenk is, I still don't think he's going to be able to gain that much on the case.
Fennec right behind him, so Fennec's going to have to really watch out and not interfere with this battle too much. Keza, though, still a healthy distance ahead.
Yeah, but Keza, absolutely unlucky race for himself. As we get, I think we're going to be crossing out a lap. Oh my goodness!
Well, that's in the final quarter, so that's wow, yeah, that's
Runelink
avoiding an absolute mammoth of an accident.
I think he was involved with it. Look at the front wing. That is absolutely
looks fine on my end, but yeah, he could have been involved.
Yeah, Runelink.
Oh, he's flying up again.
Oh, going almost 3 wide across, but yeah, very...
Yeah, that's Exus. Exus was definitely involved. He's missing half of his car.
I am absolutely speechless. When 3 cars get involved, it has to be within the last 5 minutes. And of course, within the last 5 minutes, you can't call a safety car. Guys, if you're going to do the crashing, do it at the start, please. Oh, I hope Exus is finished. I really do.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell with a lot of people being lapped, but wait, hold on, we can check the timings. It says Michael and Simon are still racing. Oh, that's a lie.
Oh my god, what an absolute roller coaster of a race. It's RuneLink, who pitted 5 times. And I've got to say, that was absolutely roller coaster. He took the lead away from Ultimate K's after the first pit stop, able to get quite a lead, made that mistake that cost him his rear wing, was very much behind K's by 40 seconds, and it looked like it was going to be K's race to win. Within those final laps, it was Ultimate K's who made some sort of mistake or were involved with some sort of crash, and that dropped him down to P3, Xevious P2, Eisenshank P4, I'm going to save the replay actually because it's going to auto-advance, Vindic P5, VLSI P6, Exus P7, Binding P8, Fennec P9, Trouble P10, Kunisek P11, Chronicle Cuckoo P12, Jedden P13, Tomahawks P14, and Carlos P15, Michael P16, Escher P17, Simon P18, Svi P19, and Dina P20. I did it within the auto advance. Oh.
Now, a few interesting things that I saw on the timings there is the normal strategy seems to be 5 pit stops, as the game is actually not auto-advancing, so that's a nice bug. And of course, it's not going to be the same for you, but it says here for me that Cuckoo is 138 laps down and did 0 pit stops, which is interesting. And
yeah.
I believe the actual person with the lowest amount of pit stops is Binding, finishing P8 with only 4 pit stops.
Yeah, I've got to hand it to him. I was not expecting to see a full pit stop. As I said earlier, I expected was at least 5 I predicted, but it looks like he was able to just manage those tyres and nurse them to go for that full pit stop. I mean, absolutely remarkable, I've got to say. Managing to get that full pit stop. The only driver actually doing less than 5. So, got to hand it to him on the tyre wear there. But, let's
go ahead and pull in Fennec, because we've made him wait quite a bit before.
Yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, let's head to some interviews.
Hello there, Mr. Consistent, aka Fennec. Now, I just quickly want to ask you, how did that battle look like for third place there towards the end? Because you were right behind.
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
I think Martin,
Okay.
you were cut out there for a second.
Oh, great. You ask him a question, Isma.
Well, the first question I gotta ask, is I just realised I could hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, you're one of your fellow competitors in the background.
Yeah, I wonder who that might be.
But
I think you might be seeing him there. Anyway.
something I must say, were you expecting there to be a safety car? And admit it, be honest.
Admittedly, yes, I was. I didn't expect as many as the previous, because people have more experience now, and also because this track, in the nature of not being able to go as many side by side, also means people take less risks. But I did expect one, at least, considering it's a long race, but pleasantly surprised, especially as a steward.
Yeah, I think the only case where we would have seen a safety car was in the final few minutes of that race, which actually caused the leader to have to pit to fix damage. So they actually came out right ahead of the car that you were chasing down towards the end of the race. Were you aware that Eisenschenk was trying to catch Kaiser for P3?
Yes. Great. And then after he came out of the pits, I could see him a few seconds ahead, so I could tell that he's going to try and catch.
But like, as one of Kaiser's teammates, did you have any? Like, were you planning on trying to get involved, or were you just going to let them fight it out for P3?
No, just let them fight.
Teammate? All right.
I don't know if you were able to see, but I had a 50-second time penalty.
Ooh, wow.
I saw that at the end, yes.
So my pit limit line was about 50 meters late after where it was on track. I don't know if that was the same for everyone, because no one else got a time penalty. But I was always under the 80 kilometers an hour limit going into the pit, and then the first time, and also later on in the race when I went above it when it hadn't activated yet, despite being in the pit lane.
You might be able to take
so-
that one to the stewards.
It only lost me one position in the end due to me overtaking Binding with a few laps, so I'm not too annoyed with it. Other funny things. First pit stop, I had the fuel bug. Barely made it back to the pit with enough fuel and managed to refuel. So,
Wow.
and then the second one I had I hit the wall very slightly on my in lap. Well, it was going to be my in lap anyway. It was definitely my auto. I only had a little bit of damage, but I only repaired the aero and I had a bit of suspension as well. So after that, I went back out again and I came back in. So essentially 2 unnecessary pit stops and an unnecessary 50 seconds of time penalty. So without that, I definitely could have been in second, but just the way it goes.
Now, Fennec, before we let you go, there is one final thing that I want to ask you, and that is, are you aware that you actually got the fastest lap of the race?
Yes, I was about to say, just before I leave, suck its fee, 14 milliseconds faster.
Oh, that is.
Love to see it. Well, thanks
I
for
had
coming
noticed I was quite quick by the fact I was able to catch Eisenchenk fourth.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
saw
I
that extremely
don't think
close.
you had a
Well,
pretty
and
good
that was
race
catch him 3 times. And unlapping people. So yeah, I realised I had some pace. I didn't necessarily know I was going to get the fastest lap, but I'm quite happy with it. So
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
like the car might have been set up a bit more for a quali kind of setup than for an endurance race, as I think. Well, you had some incidents, didn't you?
not with anyone else, just the pit ones.
Yeah, so that's definitely not going to have done you any favors lap time wise, but definitely nice to see you still getting those impressive results. I mean, fastest lap in this league is nothing to scoff at, so hope to see more of that from you next time, and yeah, have a good one.
All right, thanks. Enjoy the rest of the interviews.
Thank
Thank
you, will
you.
do. Now let's go ahead and bring in our race winner, Findict.
He's not a race winner. He came P4. His RuneLink came.
Oh, sorry, I am very confused.
But he is in the room. He is the closest person to the top. So let's bring him in anyways.
Now, Findict, congrats on that P5 finish. How was that race for you?
Hello. That was intense, very intense. I had a terrible qualifying. I got held up twice by Ticklish, unfortunately. Once I was on a line where I don't think it should have been. I had to avoid, went into the wall, had to repair. Tried to go out. The game put me on default setup, so I tried again. Barely had enough time, and then I also got blocked because Ticklish disconnected on the racing line, and I didn't want to hit him.
Oh gosh. Yeah, now that you mention it, he is actually one of the drivers that we are missing from the results screen, so we must have lost him pretty early on.
Yeah, like he didn't even make it to the race, unfortunately. But yeah. Yeah, look, it was a bit disappointing because I felt like I had the pace to win in the end, but that's not even a full story. First stint was all right. I think it was the second stint where I crashed with Eddie. He understeered into me a little bit. It was like very, very tight. I couldn't go much further outside, so it just kind of happened. Had a little bit of damage. I went to pit. Damage didn't repair, so I went around a couple more laps. Then I pit again. And actually, I want to quickly check if I can find. I think I merged around P18, P17, and from then on, it was honestly the perfect race. I actually stayed out a couple of laps with the damage, just to like give myself a buffer with the pit stops. And I think that worked really well because I was able to push for the rest of the race, and as a result, just kept making positions, kept calculating, okay, where will people end up? When did they stop? How many laps will they have to do? Will they make it to the end? Things like that. I was just calculating it constantly. And at the end, I was like, probably going to finish P5, which would be amazing. And yeah, it is amazing. And I'm really happy about it.
And you ended up beating Veilside as well. I mean, we caught you guys together on track a few times. Would you say was your main sparring partner for that race?
I think him and I both decided at a couple of points that we just wouldn't fight, stay behind each other, and try to gain a little bit of benefit that way. I think that strategy helped us both out, just not risking anything. So I think it was pretty good. And then was there anything after that? Yeah, I think like at the end of the race, I caught him again, but I think it was a lap down. But I decided to stay behind for a bit. At some point, I felt like. I was calculating at that moment, do I have enough fuel? Do I have enough tires? And when I decided yes I do, then I decided to go past, and I just went on a rampage at the end, which was a bit scary and risky in places, but yeah, I had a lot of fun driving that. That was insane.
Yeah, that's the most important part after all. I see you finished about 10 seconds behind Eisenschenk. Is that why you were pushing so hard?
Well, I was pushing because I could mostly, because I knew my tires could handle it. I had enough fuel for it, so it's like I'll just push but safely. Like, you know, don't push it too hard with people. I felt like even if I caught him, it would have been a bit risky to try and overtake. He would probably like put everything into the defense. I was happier staying in fifth, and it would also mean that I'd have to send it past everyone that I encountered, which I didn't think was very wise. So yeah, I settled for fifth at some point. I was like, if he has a crash, I can take it. If he has a time penalty, maybe I'll take it. But yeah, I was happy with fifth too.
There's something I have to mention, of course, yourself being a sub driver. I've just checked the current championship standings, and you being a sub driver, you wouldn't expect to be properly in the battle. But I've got to say, you're P14 right now with 30 points, which is absolutely amazing. The fact that you're a sub driver, and you look like you're competing as a permanent one right now. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, but like that's the most points I will get this season, because I've only signed up for one more race, which will be the next oval. I really do like ovals, and today was exactly what I hoped for in terms of like a good oval race. There was no safety cars, which I was waiting for a safety car at some point, of course.
Who was I? I thought there would be at least 5. Why did I put 5 on the votes? I should have just put, is there a safety car, and gone with my normal one.
Yeah, no, we expected a lot, but credit to people. Mostly clean. Every incident was like a 2-driver incident, and people were very quick and very accurate reporting when and where it happened. So people were able to avoid it. People were sensible. I had a lot of side-by-side moments, and only one of them went into the wall, and that was honestly just a bit of tire wear. It was a very specific situation between me and Eddie, where he was on the inside, I was on the outside, and he was understeering. I think his tires were starting to give in a little bit, and I was trying to go a little bit further to the outside because I could see, but then I realized there's nothing I can do anymore, and I don't think there was anything he could do either. So that's just, you know, that just kind of happened. But yeah, otherwise, extremely clean racing. I'm actually very proud of this community. That's amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially going from that pre-season race, where it looked like it was going to be carnage for this race. But I think maybe people being a bit more gutsy and stuff. But this race, honestly, I was so surprised. And as much as I seem a bit upset, I am still. It is also, as you said, really good to see that some this community, as you said, can, as much as yes, not drive hard against each other, but also drive safely against each other. Know maybe the limits between some drivers and understand where they can push and where they might need to stay behind.
Yeah, honestly, oval racing is maybe arguably the hardest discipline to keep it clean, basically. You have to be on top of it like the entire time. Especially this race was very, very long. If there's no safety cars, you are engaging in a very careful dance for 1.5 hours, and if you make one mistake, if you hit the apron, if your tires start to let out, if you miscalculate who is where, you will have a crash. But honestly, you weren't, of course, in the voice chat. It was very. There were a couple of frustrating moments for people. I think people had a reason to be a bit angry at each other sometimes, but we kept it to ourselves for the most part. Kept focused, kept being very informative, very respectful, and I think if people drive together like that, not only will you get a beautiful oval race, but on top of that, it is just very nice to see such a respectful community, even in the heat of one of the most terrifying disciplines in motorsports, still be able to be so friendly to each other.
Absolutely, and I definitely hope to see more of that for the next oval race as well. Given that we had so many safety cars in the first one, and this is the final question, by the way, and so few in this one, I mean, basically none. How many safety cars do you predict for the final oval race?
The final oval race is going to be a lot more deadly, I think, because I believe it's too tight, technically. So you kind of have to brake. I feel like how many safety cars? I would say like 3. I do think we'll get safety cars, and it will be.
I need to write that down this time because I overdid it with 5. So maybe. Okay. But yeah, honestly though, a great P4, and
P5.
P5. I thought it was.
P5.
Is it? Hold on.
No, it's P5. I was catching someone, but I didn't.
First, I accidentally said you got P1. Now Nismo says you got P4. No one believes in your P5 anymore.
P5.
You're
have the
better.
data.
But yeah, honestly though, still P5, an amazing drive. It's a shame you that I don't know. From the sounds of it, you won't be joining us for the other road courses.
I was planning to do Indy last week, but I got ill with COVID, so I didn't.
Oh, hope you
Like,
keep on recovering.
It's one thing driving when you're ill, but then also in a car I don't quite know. On a track I don't like. I kind of know it, but it's not one of my better ones.
And
in
don't
the
forget,
rain as
in
well,
the rain.
in a busy grid, and I'm not even competing for the championship. I was like, nah, let them have their fun.
I mean, hey, at least it's not Cleveland.
It wasn't that bad.
We'll leave
At
that
least-
debate up for another day, but it was great having you, Findix. Hope to see you again for the next oval, and yeah, I wish you lots of luck.
Thank you very much, and thanks for casting again.
That was good fun. All right, now who will we bring in next, Nismo?
I gotta just quickly say, as soon as you said at least it's not Cleveland, the song of Cleveland Town came up, and I just thought I said at least it's not Detroit. It's not Detroit. I'm probably gonna get a copyright strike now. Oh god.
There
But-
go my earnings.
Who do we bring in? Who finished? Who finished next? I'm gonna quickly.
Well,
check.
Eisenschenk was P4, wasn't he?
Well then, let's bring in Eisenschenk then. Oh, he's on mute, but let's bring him in anyway. See if we can quickly say, "Oi." Oh, and
Hey
he
there.
unmutes just as we bring him in as well. So, hello.
Welcome there, Eisenschenk. Don't listen to Nismo. He tried to give your P4 to the previous driver just now.
Maybe he isn't here.
What a race! What a race! Oh,
Yeah, you
My-
almost
my
got
fourth-
P3 there.
wait. What?
You almost got P3 there at the end.
Yeah, because René was Casey was so unlucky. He had an accident. I think 3 laps before the race ended, and so I could catch up. And he also had damage. I would have needed maybe 3 or 4 more laps to get him, but the race was over by then. But I'm super happy about P4 anyway, because I had a crash mid-race, and which put me to P9 for quite a while.
Yeah, we actually caught your car getting flung into the pit lane practically.
Yeah, which was luck. I don't know. I think I just had sun understeer and crashed into the wall outside, and it put me back. I think I collected another car, which is super unlucky. Did you see that? Did you?
I
see
think
that
we
on
caught
stream?
it. Yes, I think we caught it. That
Yeah.
number 69 definitely stands out quite a bit. So.
Yeah. Well, other than that, it was a good race to me. But this kind of So looking back, I could have finished P3, P2 even.
Definitely.
If I hadn't crashed. So,
We caught you fighting Xevious for quite a portion of that race as well. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, Xevious, he was always on fresher tires than I was. 2 or 4, 3 laps fresher tires, because he had a very long first stint. And so, yeah, we were going back and forth. It was fun. Yeah. Super nice. I was completely happy with the car. Tires worked pretty well, except the one moment I had, ending up in the wall. But the other stints I could pretty well manage them.
And you mentioned you had understeer during the incident. Did you feel like understeer was your main issue throughout the race, or did you have any oversteer moments?
Not at all. I didn't have understeer or oversteer. I activated the weight checker for, I think, on position 2 or 3 for a couple of laps at the beginning, and then we took it back to 0. This gave my front right tire a little bit more freshness towards the end to prevent understeer. And I think in that particular stint where I crashed, I forgot to activate the weight checker at the beginning of the stint. So yeah, might be, I don't know, might be just bad luck or me driving bad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, P4 finish is definitely still nothing to scoff at.
I would
still-
never had expected that. I would have expected like 100 safety cars and finishing not behind the safety car because we don't do it in the end. But yeah, you know, I was prepared with, I think, 5 different pit stop strategies for anything that could happen, like refueling only 20 liters or so, but still changing tires. That was a super clean race. No, not clean from everybody, but at least to me, I had a couple of moments with back markers where I was super lucky driving around them with Xevis right behind me. It was fun.
That's probably the practice from the AI.
Yeah, definitely yes. Yeah, but a great race, and I've heard you say that it shows that well, that the people driving in this league kind of know what they're doing. It's absolutely correct, I think. I would never have had expected this to be a clean race. That was a good experience.
Yeah, and love to hear that, of course. Do you think you've been enjoying the oval races or the circuit races more so far?
I don't like ovals, but I start liking them now.
Hey, results are results.
Yeah,
Fair
You know.
enough.
yeah. But I'm looking forward more to the other races like Road America or not sure about Long Beach, but it's narrow. And these cars are, just you lose a lot of speed when you have aero damage on them, and yeah. But yeah, great that I'm on P2 in the leaderboard now. I just see that.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
well as your team passing I think passing Team and Met and being P2 40 points behind the Moisty Scuderia, so hopefully your team will be gaining on them for the next couple of circuit races.
Yeah, I think that Gillis didn't collect too many points yet because he had a couple of disconnects.
Yeah.
He has 27 points. So I think if he can make it without a disconnect, then we're in a good position.
Yeah, I believe someone said that his GPU died.
Oh no!
So yeah, very unfortunate on his end. I think
Oh.
that was the same with Suni Kunisek. So
Yeah, but Kunisek, he said he didn't want to win on purpose because there is no strawberry milk.
I know.
I think he meant wild package in his mouth.
Was it what? Was it what? I think, mate.
Cooney finished the race, didn't he?
I'm gonna check the logs. One sec. Who said it? Who
Cooney
wanted
finished P11.
Oh yeah,
who wanted the
but
strawberry
he
milk?
didn't win on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a ticket against him because not winning on purpose.
That's match fixing
Forbidden.
right there.
Honestly.
Yeah.
He he orchestrated it from the start. He knew what he was doing. He orchestrated it.
I'm gonna go ahead and thank you, Eisenjink, for coming on. It was nice seeing you in tense battles for pretty much most of the race, and hope to see your title challenge. Well, bring the fight to Keza in the next 2 rounds.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm in good shape in these cars. Also on the also in what was the name of this awful track? Cleveland. Cleveland was also fun actually. Yeah. But let's see.
Yeah.
There are enough chances to mess it up.
I just had to temporarily deafen myself there after you said Cleveland was a nice race.
Yeah, I spun, but I ended up in a good position, I think.
Yeah, I mean, consistency was the goal, and luckily, I think everyone made at least one mistake or was involved with a mistake. But yeah, a great finish, getting that P4 position. Yeah, hopefully we can see a similar result at Road America. Yeah, until then, I hope to see you next week for round 4.
Yeah, see you. And thanks for streaming. Thanks for flying MSR.
Cheers, it's been a good
guys.
ride.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night. All right, now
Who do you bring?
let's go ahead and bring in Binding. I feel like we make him wait a bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, let's bring him. P8, I believe.
Binding, congrats on that top 10 finish.
Well, I was just looking at my phone. I've been dragged into the. Jesus Christ! You put a bag over my head. I can't believe it.
Give us your liver.
Oh.
I wasn't expecting that. Yes, I had. It was very boring. I will admit. I was just kind of existing for 90 minutes.
But were there any like major incidents, or was it just you managing to avoid all of that?
I survived.
You are a survivor.
I had the least amount of pit stops at 4.
Yeah,
Actually, I was about to ask you about that. How did you manage that? Because it seems like the normal amount was 5.
Long story short, a lot of conserving, which is why everyone overtook me all the time, no exceptions. And then my teammate ate shit and died. Well, both my teammates, honestly.
Yeah, do you know what happened to them? Like, did they drop it on their own, or did they get hit?
I'm not sure what happened to Dina, but apparently lag issues from. Should I just call her Mira or Cuckoo? I don't know what to call her when I'm talking.
We tend to use Cuckoo on the channel.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
we could bring them in actually. Do a 2-in-1.
Well, they're
God,
currently
yeah,
live
this is gonna be
streaming.
funny. This is gonna be
We
fun.
can steal them.
Do it anyways. Prank
do-
them, John.
Let's do it. They will have to suffer without temporarily.
Prank them, John. Hello, yes, we've. I asked them to kidnap you. Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, Nismo wants your liver, so watch out.
Oh, you said you wanted my liver. Don't try and blame us on
Martin
this
gets
one.
your liver. I get Cuckoo's liver. Okay, it's
Oh,
2
this
for.
has taken a very dark turn. Very quickly.
Sorry.
Yes. I was telling them how you and Dina had incidents, and I had. Frankly, I was about to say I think it's lag, but then they made the awful suggestion to bring you in with me, so here we are.
Oh, well, here we are. Yeah. It was all going very well until it suddenly wasn't.
She was going to beat me as well, which
Huh?
would have been upsetting. considering my strategy.
Yeah, it was going well until it wasn't. It was,
We did see a
So-
moment when I believe you guys were sandwiching. I believe it was Kunisek at one point. Were you guys thinking? Because I think it was you two at least.
It was, yeah. I know what you're talking
Were there
about.
any sort of I wouldn't say team orders, but any sort of strategy to try and help one another get past each other at that moment in time?
The plan was that we were going to help each other slipstream, but then Kunisek just kind of came in out of nowhere, and we just sort of went with it.
The more
yeah,
the merrier.
we didn't really have any specific plans most of the time.
There was a lot of yelling, though.
It was
There
just
a
we'll
lot.
see what happens, really.
I will admit,
But,
it was mostly me yelling.
Yeah, we qualified like right near the back. It was a very good recovery actually. So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy me and Binding finished well. And at the same time, I'm deeply unsatisfied that yeah, it's the incident I had near the end with Trouble. Just
Yeah, tell us what happened there.
So I've actually saved the replay and I fast forwarded through it twice because I hit the back to the start button. But
Oh, that I feel your pain.
yeah,
On a 90-minute race too.
It's netcode. Unfortunately, it's I
Oh,
was riding on board with us, and yeah, we were alongside each other going up to turn 3, doing about 380 Ks, and then for whatever reason, like on the replay for me, the speedometer on their wheel goes from 380 all the way down to like just under 350. I like jerk ahead, but like visually they don't slow down, and the engine note stays the same. So in the race, I thought they backed out of it, but it was just lag. And then obviously I turn in, we touch, and then into the wall.
that is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that I was 7th chasing down Valeside and Findict and Xevious after like my final pit stop or whatever. I think it was like the train right up to 3rd in front of me or whatever. I don't think I would have gotten 3rd. I think the timings might be a bit bugged, but
It's
oh
definitely
no, sorry, I
unfortunate.
was looking at last lap time. No, I was definitely in the fight with Valeside and Findict if they'd pitted.
Then Vindic somehow materialized a lap ahead of me, which I'm still upset about.
I mean, Findix was ahead of you though. At the moment my crash happens, he's 1 minute 35 off the lead, and you're 2 minute 43. So
And I want to know how that happened.
he was quicker than you.
Wrong. No one's quicker than me. I didn't win because I let them win.
I see.
He did say he was holding back.
I mean, literally.
Yeah,
since
he's got an ego now that he's had a good result.
my singular decent result all of a sudden.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean-
it's definitely unfortunate to hear what happened to your race, but what is fortunate is that we don't take the results from my screen because my computer said you were DNF'd at 138 laps down with no pit stops.
I definitely did not DNF. I can confirm.
Didn't even start the race. The computer blow up.
It's unfortunate that I lost at least 4 stops, but I did say before we started to binding that I would be happy with anything in the top 12. So
Did you?
Fair enough.
I did say that.
No, she's lying. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
saving grace. We were very strong in the race. You know, we came back from like pretty much last, all the way up to like running in like the top 5 at times. I think even the first stint I led the race at one point for a few laps. So
Yeah, you let it for like a lap or two before. Well.
yeah, a few laps before my pit stop. I think I was the last one to stop. But yeah, we were stronger in the race than qualifying. I was a bit worried after the quali, but
We have one more
yeah,
over.
we ran very well. So I think there's positives to take away from it, but it's deeply unsatisfying that I got lagged.
There is.
I don't know what happened to Dina yet. I've not spoken to him, but he looked like he had a bit of a shocker.
He kept blocking us, which was fun.
I find he's very upset about this.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely from watching all the other drivers and the race in general, it did seem as if the motto of this race was teamwork is the dream work.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely unfortunate to hear about your crash, but still some great positions, and at least you've, at the end of the day, an extra 10 points is an extra 10
It
points.
was a strong drive. I think I can be proud of it, but it's just unfortunate.
Anyways.
Well, I can
Timing.
check for you right now. So in the standings, you are actually... No, what? You're 8th. Sorry,
That's fair enough.
that felt like an insult.
Yeah, binding your trash.
Where's
You're further down than I thought you were. I'm 4th at the moment. I'm 5 points
Oh,
behind.
wow, yeah, extremely close then between the
Yeah,
top people.
if it weren't for the accident, I would be 3rd in the drivers right now. So
Only because she's a fucking god in the race.
painful.
okay?
I put a lot of work into that race. I'll have you know.
Well, then
Oh,
hopefully we'll be seeing...
Offended.
Well, are you going to be before we have to sadly disconnect, unless Mars has another question after this, are you going to be looking forward to Laguna Seca then, which is partly raining?
I quite like Laguna Seca. I don't know how these cars are going to be around it, but I like the track. So
We're in the rain. That's gonna be great.
yeah, there's full river down the corkscrew. It'll be fine. Yeah.
If someone
I
doesn't
think
know-
really it's quite a lot of tight technical tracks from here. So
And then an oval. There's
I
just
mean-
a random ass oval.
Part of me is
Very
dreading it, and the other part of me thinks if I can get a good setup and keep it clean, there's some strong opportunities there at the same time, because it's going to be quite easy to make a mistake on some of them. So I suppose I'm going to take it race by race. I didn't have very high hopes for this one, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I'll just keep trying to do the best I can. Really, that's about all I can do.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, Martin, unless you have any other questions.
Nothing that isn't liver related, so I'll go ahead and let you guys go for the night. Thanks for coming on, and yeah, good luck on the next
Yeah,
one.
thanks for having us back.
No worries. Always good to see. I think you said something about being here next time at last
Every
race.
week,
Last time. Yeah, every week. Come on.
I'll be here.
Let's have another good
Every
result
week,
next
let's
week.
go.
I was can't remember. I was here for Fontana, wasn't I, in pre-season?
Mm.
When,
Yeah.
when she absolutely fucking murdered me.
Yeah.
I was gonna win, damn it.
Yeah,
And then I won instead.
Yeah, we will catch you guys next week. Oh,
Mhm.
I hope
But yeah,
we will.
absolutely. So what track is it next week? I've not even looked.
It's,
Road America.
yeah, I was about to
Road
say.
America.
I think you mean Road America.
Oh, it was Road Atlanta. Never mind.
I don't think I even know that track very
What?
well.
It's the best.
I know. I have a good idea for it.
I've maybe driven it like 3 times. I think. I'm gonna have
It's
to
a
do
pretty
some
good
more
track for
practice.
racing.
It's a fun track, yeah.
Except
Long
for the snail
Beach, I
section when
know.
your tires are dying.
Yeah, Long Beach. I know. Road America. I've not got much experience on, so we'll see.
But yeah, we will. Yeah, catch you guys next
Yeah,
week. While we're
same
looking
time
for
next week, right?
yeah, yeah. Hopefully another good result.
It's the tradition for this league.
And
Yeah, just come half an hour earlier because it's not going to be a 90-minute race.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Fucking finally. All right. Well, it was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. We'll see you next week.
Till then, good night, folks.
No.
All right, now we still have Escher and Trouble. I'm gonna go ahead and leave Trouble to be our final interviewee because he's already spoken a few words during Fennec's interview. So let's go ahead and bring in Escher. Escher, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Now you finished P17, but definitely saw a decent bit of on-track action. What was your favorite part of that race?
That I saw the finish line, I don't know.
Fair enough. That's where you're in the points.
It was very, very, very bad. I got killed 3 times.
Oh,
So yeah, and I messed up some pit stops, and there was a misunderstanding on my part that you can enter the pit like from the main straight, and I was accessing the pit lane from the back straight until someone told me during the race. So that was my problem. I lost time there, and then I accidentally swapped a driver because I tried to fix my car. And yeah, it was absolutely horrible.
that must have been so because the AI on the track are very slow.
I mean, I just had to pit again and then swap again, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, Escher, I'm just looking at the amount of pit stops here. You have a shared amount of most pit stops in the race together with Michael and Svi for 9 pit stops.
Oh, 9, okay. I mean, I was planning with 7 because, I don't know, I didn't have enough time to prepare myself, and I just couldn't get the tire wear under control.
So how much time did you practice for this race?
I don't know, maybe 1.5 hours, maybe, but it wasn't enough because
It's a decent. I would say it's a decent amount. And it's I mean, for ovals, I think circuit tracks you can get away, but the amount of setup you have to and input you need to put into some oval cars, because ovals are just a different breed. I would say they are completely bonkers sometimes.
I mean, after 50 liters of driving, my tires were just gone. You know, I was planning on driving like 42 liters, and then I had to change my tires every time. So without any issues, I would have planned with 7 pit stops.
And
So too much already. But I thought, okay, just stay with it and just have a clean race. And I had to lift before every turn to so the cars, so my tires aren't wearing out even more. So there was something wrong with my setup, but I couldn't fix it in time.
so, do you think that was also the reason for those 3 incidents you mentioned earlier?
Oh no, that wasn't. Like 2 incidents were absolutely not my fault. The third one was, I don't know, maybe an incident. I left some space on the inside, and someone went into the inside where I left the space, but that Dina said his tires were gone, and he understeered into me, and he could have waited until the back straight, and I would have let him through because my race was over anyway. But yeah, it's fine. I'm not shitting on everyone, on anyone. It's fine. I'm not angry, but it just happens. And also, like in the beginning, Dina killed me, so it was twice. But it's okay. It happened. It's okay. It's
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if of course anything egregious happens, of course the stewards are there to help. It's not to divide people or anything. It's just to make sure people learn the lessons they need to keep the racing nice and fun. But yeah, glad to hear that you still had a fairly enjoyable race despite all the incidents. Are you looking forward to the next one in Road America?
Yeah, sure. It's not an oval, that's a plus, and I have some experience on that track. I had a 2-hour race on Race Room like a month ago, which went very well. So yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun. I like this track.
And I agree with you there. Well, I guess my final question then will be, is that the track you're looking forward to most, or is there another one that you are really anticipating?
Can you help me with what are the remaining tracks?
Yes.
I think it's Laguna Seca.
Yes, and Long Beach and WWT Raceway.
And Road America next.
Hmm.
Unless you already said.
Yeah, I like Laguna Seca too.
Have you
So-
driven it in these kinds of high downforce cars before?
No,
I do
only
have
on ACC a lot.
something that might change your mind is it is raining a bit. The conditions are mixed.
Oh really? I thought the last race was the only, like the race before was the only wet race. Okay.
So yeah, because in MSR we have one wet race, just to make things interesting, and we always try to input a mixed conditions just to introduce some sort of weird strategy and who can adapt most to that.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, sadly I couldn't attend the last race. That was in rainy conditions, so I'm missing a bit of experience there. But yeah.
Well, yeah, hopefully though we'll see you very much back on some better pace for more circuit races where that 1 hour 30 should hopefully come back in.
Yeah, I will try to better myself. Yeah.
But yeah,
Find more time to practice. Yeah.
well, yeah, unless Martin, you have anything to add?
I think we're all good for tonight, aside from Trouble, who's gonna get a couple more words in at the end.
Yeah, well, until next time, thank you for giving us some entertainment and some great racing tonight.
And
we
thank you for your work again. And now
always
I'm
been
back
fun.
to making some tickets. I have a lot to do.
Oh no, Martin, we're gonna have a bad Thursday. No.
Let's go!
But
All right.
honestly,
Okay. Bye. Good night.
have a good night.
See ya. Have a good one. Alright, now let's go ahead and bring in Trouble and leave Cuckoo all alone and ready for interview.
Exactly, lonely and without a liver.
Yellow.
Welcome, Trouble. Do you have anything you'd like to add to those words that you mentioned during our first interview?
What words? Huh?
Many, many words in the background of Fennec.
Oh. Oh. Sorry, I didn't even realize that was. I didn't even realize I was saying them, and I don't know what I was saying. So
I think you were in the ready to interview room at the time, and you were
yeah,
having
I was.
nice
talking
conversation.
I was talking with Binding, Cuckoo, whoever else was in there at the time. I can't remember. I don't even know when it is. I'm just guessing who was in there.
Well, we did actually hear that you had an incident with some of the people you mentioned towards the end of the race. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah. I know that Cuckoo has already explained this, but yeah, towards the end, well, we were both pretty much going flat out, but I had a lot of momentum. We were going side by side into the third corner, I think. From my end, I was just holding my line and basically was thinking, right, I've got the inside. As long as I don't like lift or try going wide, I will basically be able to like take the position. And then from my view, Cuckoo just comes in the space that I was very much in, and I was just really confused. Obviously, it caused a crash. They got worse out of it than I did because although I got 100 front and rear aero damage, but no suspension. So although it's not a quick change front wing, it's like an F1 car, so it still took quite a while. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, on looking back at it with Cuckoo, yeah, I'd been having lag issues a bit early in the race. Like first few laps, I'd lost 3 or 4 positions by teleporting backwards.
Oh wow.
And there'd been once or twice where the same thing had happened. One of which Fennec nearly rear-ended me, and luckily didn't. But yeah, so it was a thing of like I knew that every so often I'd have internet or like some sort of connection or computer issues. But it had been like pretty much fine with no issues for like half the race at that point. I thought that they were finished, and either way I wouldn't have been able to do anything about them. But it was just really unfortunate the timing. But yeah. Also, there's a picture, and apparently on their end, I also teleported through the floor and was sent to the Shadow Realm. So
Yeah, we did see that happening to, I think it was one of the black cars, but yeah, it's,
I think that might have
an
been
interesting issue.
Tomahawks. He was suffering a bit with some connection. It could be someone else, but
yeah, I know Tom was having a few issues. Had some good racing as well, so that was fun.
But yeah, despite the incidents, you still finished in the top 10, so that's a pretty good result. And I also remember you leading the race at one point. How did you feel back then?
Wasn't I leading the race for like literally 1 lap?
Maybe 2 or 3. I definitely remember seeing you up there for a little bit.
Yeah. I felt like it was, yeah, it might have been 2 laps. But yeah, that was good because at that point I think that was with like the first or second pit stops, and I was thinking I can definitely like try and do less pit stops than other people because it seemed a bit early for me. And well, I learned very quickly after that that it was not that much earlier for me. Because I did slide into the wall and was like, I should definitely go into the pits or I'm going to get more than just a little bit of aero damage. So yeah, I promptly ducked into, yeah, just went in pits and yeah, didn't quite manage to do what Binding did with the 4 stop, but 5 seemed very reasonable, and some people, even without incidents, were struggling to even do 5.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if a safety car had come out while you stayed out later, that could have been amazing for your race as well. But surprisingly, not a single safety car. Were you expecting that kind of race?
I was sort of expecting there to be at least less safety cars than Daytona, just because of it being more difficult to go, like 3 wide.
you mean Fontana, right?
Whichever one we did in pre-season.
Yeah, Fontana.
Ah, I forgot that it wasn't Daytona. It's like in PC2 when we did Daytona instead. I keep thinking it's Daytona because it's got the fucking slight turn on the straight.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is basically mini Fontana, mini Daytona, but not that much smaller. But that's besides the point. But yeah, basically, I was expecting there to be less incidents than that, just because of not being able to go 3 wide as much. But I was not expecting no safety car. I was thinking that there'd at least be 1 or maybe 2. But yeah, there was a lot of 2 people incidents, but not very many 3.
But yeah, I think the only 3 people incident that we might have seen was towards the end of the race, within the last 2 minutes. So yeah.
Within the last 10 minutes, when you weren't allowed, well, when you couldn't have a caution anymore.
Wait, is it 10 minutes?
Yes. For this
okay.
race, it's 10 minutes. I think for the normal ones, it's 5.
Ah, I gotcha.
But yeah. So effectively, there was none, because the only time it could have been was too late.
Hmm.
Which it did mean that the field was a lot more spread out compared to Fontana, because Fontana, every so often you could get them bunched up again, whereas this, I think the difference between first and last was like 6 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is, with a short lap time like this, we had quite a few lapped cars being involved in fights. We had, at some point, even over half the grid that was suddenly all right behind each other again, so that had potential for a big crash, but
Yeah, I
didn't end up happening.
Because I was coming out of the pits and they all passed. I was like, huh, that was a bit of a surprise, but
it was a wild sight on stream as well.
yeah, I can imagine there was a lot of action and jostling in the pack there.
Yeah, and Nismo, you said the. I mean, I think we actually did see practically an airplane crash in the final corner on the final lap.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Nismo saw an even crazier one during practice, but unfortunately, I don't think I saw that one on stream.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
some.
Speaking of practice, or in this case, qualifying, how was that? Having like the three groups.
Oh, it was quite. I genuinely, I enjoyed it more than the private one, with for full honesty. It was quite easy to keep track, especially since you were up at quite up at the top for a long time, eh?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I think up until the final session you were there.
You must have been smiling throughout that.
I did that without any slipstream, none whatsoever.
Wow, getting it absolutely pitch perfect.
But the thing is, Svi then messaged me saying, "How the fuck did you do that? You must have had slipstream." And basically said, "Nope, not at all. I just destroyed the engine, put it to 0 radiator.
Oh,
nice.
40 engine damage at the end."
That is a toasty engine.
But I did go 0.3 faster than anyone else in my session. A couple of hundredths faster than anyone in the second session. Although I will mention that Fennec, with only a little bit of slipstream, although not on 0 radiator, was about to set as fast, like within a few hundredths either way, lap, and then couldn't because he ran out of fuel.
Unlucky.
So he would have been like either the place ahead of me or place behind me, and then ran out of fuel literally on the last corner and ended up just barely slower than his time he'd already set. But yeah, but then come the third part of it, people had actually figured out how to work together.
I honestly am surprised that you seem to be one of the only people running 0 radiator, because that was a common strategy on PC too.
Yeah, and I think multiple people did it in the preseason as well. So I was surprised how few people did it, because going from 25 to 0 was about 310.
Yeah, that is pretty significant.
Which was the entire difference between me and the second fastest in my. Because like I'd set a good lap, I still would have been up there even with the 20, like with the normal radiator. But I wouldn't have been 0.3 ahead. Like that was a bit mad. Like I don't know why I was the only person to do that. And even because I asked Fennec afterwards if he'd done it, and he hadn't thought of it either. And I don't think many people had in second.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was mostly the people towards the final session that ended up doing that, because then we suddenly saw you lose 4 or 5 positions. Although they were also using a lot more slipstream as well.
Yeah, I was watching Eisenschenk's fastest lap. He was getting double slipstream for half of it, really close to the person ahead, like really good slipstream.
Yeah.
don't know if he was on 0 radiator, but it would not have mattered. He was getting that pole. It was a very impressive pole lap.
Yeah, it was very well timed. I mean, you almost would have thought that those other people were his teammates, but I guess they just didn't mind giving him a helping hand.
Yeah, I mean, I know Xevious was the person ahead of him, and I think Xevious got second overall, because he basically got slipstream for a good chunk of that lap as well. So he was on a flying lap. It wasn't like he was about to be overtaken by Eisencheng, and it wasn't as if he was going to give up by far fastest lap. So it just played into Eisencheng's hands so well.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more memorable quali sessions we've had so far, but unless Nisma has any more questions for you, Trouble, I believe we will be rounding off the stream there for the night.
I will say before I go, big news. My team is now not last in the standings. Let's go.
Hey!
We were on a total of 9 points before this race, and now we're on 57.
Well, that is quite the improvement.
Yeah, that is. That is. Yeah, that's
Because
massive.
effectively we'd only had 2 people finish over 2 races. Because I finished last race, despite having issues, and Wither finished the first race. Veilside had not finished a single race. So yeah, effectively we've doubled the number of finishes we've had as well. So
yeah, I mean you are in double slow and some amount of trouble, right?
yes.
Yeah, so you guys have actually
Almost as if
jumped
my
2
name
teams in the
is my team
standings.
name.
They've doubled up.
Hey.
Yeah, well, we doubled up the finishes, but like quadrupled up more the points.
So are you guys aiming to overtake Sentinel Motorsports, or do you have your sights set even higher to that P4 spot?
For now, we'll aim for Sentinel Motorsports, because 60 points is quite a big gap for there not being another feature race with extra points.
Yeah,
So,
you gotta have a lot of DNFs to catch that kind of gap.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where we'll aim for now. Hopefully, with more people finishing, and hopefully whoever our third driver is, because effectively with a leaving, we had Daylau replace him and then DNF. So if we can get if we can both get a third driver, we didn't have one at all in the second race, and then also have them finish, then that puts us in with a good chance of gaining.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to seeing that, well, I'm not sure if I can call it title battle, but definitely team standings battle. Wishing you guys the best of luck, especially with that third team as well, because this is first time we've been driving around with such big teams. So yeah, it's some uncharted territory, but yeah, definitely wishing you good luck there.
Yep. Well, thanks for the interview, and thanks for the stream.
Oh. Yeah, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Good night.
Hopefully, yeah. Also, by the sounds of it, Kaiser is in a lot of tickets at the moment.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Only some of which he's raised, apparently.
So we may see the podium change.
Maybe, we'll see. We'll see if loads of people get deducted points. Won't be far enough for me, but, maybe for other people it will be. Make it interesting.
Imagine getting a 1,000,000-second penalty. League exclusion.
I mean, isn't 1,000,000-second penalty basically just the same as saying you're not allowed to race?
Yeah, we'll catch you next.
And it's fine. If they say you can't race, just plead whoops.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, so I know we have to let you go so we can round off the stream before 12:30, at least. But yeah,
We've got 4 minutes.
No, yeah. So
Is that a threat, Trouble?
I'll steal your liver too.
I just wanted to stick to his word.
Yeah,
Can't have Nismo lying to us.
I will force you out this room. I will use the force.
I could leave myself as well.
Yeah, I know, but
I
don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave, and then you to get dragged into another room because I dragged you just as. I will let you leave on your own terms.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will let you end the stream. Without having drank enough, but still, we'll save
I
that for
know.
next stream.
Yes, yes, we will.
So, yeah. See ya. Have a good one, and see you next week.
Alright.
Cheers, Trouble.
Cheers. See ya.
Yeah, there are multiple people I need to thank before I do end the stream. Of course, WMDR, Martin, thank you always for helping me commentate. I don't think the stream would be as good as it would without you, so I always appreciate that, man.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
And some person, especially for this race, is Ultimate K is not, of course, getting the nicest result that he could have today, but the amount of planning that he put into this race, the amount of help that I think he helped people. He sent out videos telling them how to properly, and I think genuinely today that really paid off and really helped people create a clean race. So honestly, a lot of thanks to Ultimate K's as well for helping in a way setups as well. So genuinely, I don't think there would be I think without him there would have been a safety car. So thanks, thank you to him. But yeah, a great race, and I'm a bit disappointed no safety car, but we will catch you guys next week where it won't be an oval and there hopefully will be a safety car at Road America for round 4 of the Formula USA 2023 league here at MSR. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everyone.